Christine Lisi. When Luka Doncic was told over the weekend he'd been traded by the Mavericks to the Lakers, he wondered if it was April Fool's Day, not the beginning of February. The 25-year-old superstar admitted today he was shocked by the news, called it a hard moment for him. Now he's excited about what's next. Equally stunned by the news initially, now looking forward to his next chapter, Anthony Davis, now in Dallas, where he thinks they have a great chance to win a championship. They won't contend this season, though, predicts Anscape senior writer David Dennis Jr.
The Mavs could only make some noise if a whole bunch of things go right for them, including the health of AD and the health of Kyrie through these next 30 games, and we just traditionally do not see that. I'm just not buying the Dallas Mavericks as a team that can contend with OKC, with Denver, with Houston.
AD said he sees himself playing in his first game for Dallas Thursday or Saturday. Meantime, there's optimism Luka could return from a calf injury and debut for LA Saturday. NFL Andy Reid confirmed today he'll return as Chiefs head coach in 2025, his 13th in Kansas City.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Wednesday. As we get you ready for the big game, I'll tell you some of the storylines I'm paying most attention to early in the game. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We are live from Media Row Day 2, Super Bowl 59 from the Morial Convention Center in New Orleans. It's popping. Actually, if you're watching us right now on YouTube or WBTR, directly behind us, that would be Justin Jefferson and Michael Penix, people who are far more interesting than me. But we are excited to be here. Let us begin as we do every single day.
You have to do the gritty.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
The voice you heard there is should be a familiar voice to all people in Louisiana and these parts. Mike Hoss, the play-by-play man for the New Orleans Saints, kicking us off here today, who has a co-role, as I understand. We had talked about this before, Mike. I had forgotten, though. You also handle comms for the Superdome. So, man, this is a gigantic week for you.
Yeah. Well, I was one of the few play-by-play guys that in July knew my season was going to end at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt.
Unfortunately, not with the Saints, but yeah, these two jobs. I was media relations manager for the Superdome and the renovation, and the play-by-play job came along, and they kind of lived harmoniously on top of each other. And then we started doing everything all year long, and they didn't live so harmoniously. But I'm just buck-ass lucky. I mean, to have those two jobs, which were neither part of any plan. I love the Superdome. I love that building. I love the play-by-play. I work with Deuce McAllister.
Yep.
I'm just, lucky.
We're 90 seconds in the show. We got a buck-ass lucky, which is the first time in 15 years. I guarantee you, I don't even need to check the tape that anyone has ever said buck-ass lucky. We got it 3 times now here.
I usually say I fell ass backwards into these jobs, but somehow that came out.
Hey, last night was a huge the opening night at the Dome was a huge thing. If you were to, boil down for the people who you're listening, watching, what goes into, I guess, you're making over the building continuously all week, right, for things like that and everything that's going to take part, and then rehearsals and practices and everything all week.
There's so much that happens. First off, it's the NFL, right? So the NFL started years ago, 2 years ago, coming in monthly, bi-weekly, and looking at the building and making decisions. And this is way before you had color schemes or anything. So when we played Tampa on January 5th on the road, the next day the NFL takes over the building. It's their building for their event. That's January 6th.
Wow.
And we had just finished our construction for the renovation, and we're like, oh, you hear this boop, boop. I'm like, whoa, it's construction again, because it is a build-out, right? It's a build-out of tents, which used to be tents. They're not tents. They're like buildings on top of garages, inside, stages, everything is just so massive. And so it has been this continuum of getting ready. And uniquely, so we had Monday night, which I thought was great. You know, if you've been to a media day, they were brutal, right? They just unleashed the cattle onto the field, and you just attacked them and tried to get whatever you could get. Now it's more of an event, right? It's televised. You can hear people. There's microphones. You can sit in the stands and listen to that guy on your app and that guy on your app. So it's pretty cool, and it's only the second year they've done it. But then we kind of go quiet, right? Practices are off campus. They go from Monday night really into game mode and halftime and all of that stuff. But so much is done ahead of time. And it's amazing to watch. It really is.
What is the biggest change that people who maybe are coming into the city, because, I mean, keep our audience, I mean, you cut the state in half below. That's our radio audience, so terrestrial audience anyway. People who might be coming in for something this weekend, even if they don't have a ticket, may just want to be a part of it. What's the biggest change they might notice around the Dome?
I would avoid Poydras, right? Figure out a way to get deep into the quarter, down towards where we are, the convention center, not your typical route. Take Earhart to get down to the river, however you might come. You might come Claiborne. Any other way that you would come, because Poydras is closed, because that's going to be a main entrance, and they're working on that. So the campus itself, Smoothie King Center, Champion Square, all that is pretty much locked down. And so you have to kind of maneuver elsewhere, and that's important. I want people to come to visit the NFL Experience Wednesday. Go see the cathedral lit up. So there's a lot of things to do, but you got to make sure that you can get down here. That's the biggest thing that I want locals to know, because we want this to be about locals. Last night was about locals. $20, you get to come to, you know, what used to be Media Day. Yeah.
Mike Hoss is with us. He's the radio voice of the Saints, also in charge of communications for the Superdome, which obviously the biggest week you've had since you've had the job. I think that's easy to say. You did mention also that you love the building, and there is something, I'll use this word, charming about the Dome. It is the most recognizable piece of one of the most famous skylines in the world, and we keep always having these conversations about the Dome and how much longer it'll last. I mean, you're talking 1975 now, right? So, you know, a 50-year-old building. Is it safe to say, Mike, that, like, I always say, look, they tore down Yankee Stadium. Every building's going to go.
That's right.
So, like,
nothing is safe.
Nothing is safe. But, like, when you look at just where the Dome is now with the new renovations you talked about for this event and everything that's coming, how do you feel about the building and how it measures up now?
Well, you said it off the top. So to me, I go to them all, right? I've been to all the new ones, and I've been to all of them, and they're nice, and they're new. They have no soul. They have no character. They're just shells. And quite frankly, in 25 years, because they were built based on standards, whatever's cool and hot right now, they are going to be obsolete in 25 years. And our building has space. It's the one thing stadiums don't have. We have 2 million square feet inside. And so you could put the Houston Astrodome inside of that building. And that was the only other model that they had back then, with pencils and protractors. And we don't have the luxury to do what Nashville and Buffalo may do, which is tear it down, build on the parking lot next door, and then that'll be your parking lot. We can't do that. So in 25 years, not in my lifetime, that's going to be a tough decision to be made. But to be able to do what they did with that building and increase its lifespan for another 25 years and not touch the iconic exterior, right?
Yeah.
You can make it better. You ain't making it bigger. You ain't putting no Camelback on that sucker.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It looks the same from every direction. But inside, rid of the ramps, you created, and I say this sounds very press release, they recaptured 100,000 square feet of fan amenity space. 100,000 square feet. Try to do that in your house with a 10 by 10 room. See if you can recapture 10 by 10. That's 100 square feet. It ain't easy. So they recaptured 100,000 square feet of usable space. Then they took the floors, because the ramps are gone on the sideline, and they took the floors to the edge of the building and recaptured 50,000 square feet back of house. So we took a 50-year-old building, recaptured 150,000 square feet of usable space, done.
Yeah,
I
man.
dropped the mic and and made it more open because it's competitive. We battle Atlanta, Jacksonville, Dallas, Indy, Nashville, all these places with new or renovated stadiums. That's our competition for Taylor Swift, for all of these concerts. You got to have all the bells and whistles, but you got to have character.
Yeah.
You got to have soul, and that building has soul.
I was in the Dome for Taylor Swift and in the Dome for the Sugar Bowl, which I would assume is the biggest event most recently in the Dome. Has there been a bigger event since then? And it always holds up. I like everybody, we've been to countless giant events in that building. It does always hold up, and hopefully we have another layer of history for
new memories for a new generation.
Do you have one Super Bowl, New Orleans Super Bowl memory that lasts? Are you old enough to have seen games at Tulane
brother, I'm old
Stadium?
enough. So I can assure you that is not a question we have a problem
Well,
with.
my parents love to tell me this story, and I have a game program from the game, but it was Super Bowl 15, which was the Eagles and Ron Jaworski against the Raiders in the Superdome. So they went to that game in 1980 on a date. This is before I was born. I wasn't born until 82. So I try to be mindful, man.
It's good. So my first Super Bowl was 90. San Francisco and Denver blowout, right? And then the Brett Favre win was pretty cool because Kill, Mississippi, the Kill. And so I've been to a lot, but they weren't uniquely special like a Saints game.
Yeah.
You talk about 06, the block punt. You get chills. A Super Bowl, you're sitting in a corner of an end zone. You don't have enough. There's no vested part. But the Garrett Hartley kick and really 10, from the 09 season, but the 06 season was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I argue it was more special than winning the Super Bowl because we needed it. And the Super Bowls were great because they're just great, but they're just different. You're not vested. You're not cheering. You're sitting there in a suit going, all right, whatever. But man, that 06 season, that was therapeutic.
Yeah.
Really was.
Dome coming was amazing. The divisional round against the Eagles, I was there with my dad that day as well. I mean, there's just so many amazing memories. Mike Haas, radio voice of the Saints, also basically is the guy in charge of the Superdome, the comms of the Superdome, which is a busy week for this guy. One more thing. Saints, obviously there's going to be a new coach. Man, give me a reason, Mike, to feel some degree of optimism going forward with this team after such a struggle.
I would say just maybe it is the unknown, and the unknown being Kellen Moore. And for the first time, you have this young offensive coordinator. He is a Derek Carr fan, which he might as well be because that's the plan. He's 36, right? But he's not a first-year coordinator who just got hot, and just got the job. I'm excited. They're 50-some million over the cap. They're not in a good shape. Their defense needs some help. They finally have some decent draft picks in the top 10. They need playmakers. They need playmakers more than anything. But I think, it's funny. We're going to watch this game Sunday differently because of Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
we're going to go.
No doubt.
You want this offense. Or you're looking at the offense and what he can do. They need playmakers. But in the end, if you can't run the ball, and this team cannot run the ball, and if you can't stop the ball, I don't care what numbers 2 through 5 are on that list, period.
Yeah.
Running back, playmakers at wide receiver, more offensive line, and you got to stop the run in the middle.
My high school English teacher texted me, who's a friend. I'm so jealous you get to meet Mike Haas. Such a fan. Totally want to buy him a po' boy and a beer. So shout out to Nancy Herron.
I can assure you not many English teachers text me. Usually they do and go, it's well, not good. It's not this. She
had plenty of those issues with me 25 years ago.
Thank you very much. That was very sweet.
He is Mike Haas. Thank you so much for the time. It's great to see you. Have an awesome week. It is After Further Review. We're here on Media Row. Our coverage all week is presented by L'Auberge, a Casino Hotel, Baton Rouge. We're glad to be here. And, of course, our show open brought to you by Bud Light. Make sure you're going to be watching the big game on Sunday. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, an official partner of Super Bowl 59. We'll knock out a quick break. Come back. Michael Brockers, former LSU Tiger, former first-round draft pick, set to join us here on set from Media Row. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. You can visit them online at yourgoodwood.com. Listen, if it's a hormone replacement therapy, maybe it's ED treatments. They have a variety of them all. There's no sense in going through life sick and tired of being sick and tired. If you want to live a full, vital life, Why not? Make sure you take advantage. Log on to yourgoodwood.com. Go for a simple blood test. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. Listen, it happens to literally every human. Our bodies produce less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel as we age. But there are therapies to replace that to make you feel vital and full and healthy and energetic. There's no reason not to. Again, check out Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness online, yourgoodwood.com. That's yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Of course, we always appreciate our friends over at Sunshine. Bunkie and below. You want a John Deere? You're going to one place. You're going to Sunshine. SunEquip.com, SunEquip.com. Back here from Media Row Day 2, Super Bowl 59. Our coverage all week presented by L'Auberge. And a guy who needs no introduction among LSU faithful. Guy's a former first-round draft pick, part of that 2011 team that won the SEC, played for the national championship. Kind of got hosed,
right?
As we all know. It is Michael Brockers. How are you, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm great, man.
Good.
I'm great. Thank you for having me on.
Dude, it's we've tried to connect for a little bit now. I'm glad that we crossed paths here. First and foremost, because I'm sure there's a lot of LSU fans listening, watching right now, like, catch everybody up. So you retired from the NFL, and what's been up since?
And I've been a serial entrepreneur. I opened a restaurant called Quad Houston, kind of tending off the LSU Quad where we meet
nice.
in the school. So Quad Houston is my restaurant. I'm in real estate school right now, so I'm going to be a realtor, and me and my wife, and just because I own properties now, so calling myself a real estate professional, investor and realtor. And I got my podcast, which is the broadcast. I have my brand, which is Brock Brand. So I just want to be a serial entrepreneur, bro. And it was tempted off of leaving the league, man. Getting cut from Detroit, it put a salty taste in my mouth because you never want to be told that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And that left a salty taste in my mouth. And I went, and maybe a couple of months later, I did a workout for Tennessee. And they told me, like, hey, man, you look good to me. I don't know what they're talking about. And literally that those couple of words of, appreciation took me, I was done. After that, I was like, okay, that was enough for me. I was done. I played 11 years in the league. At that time, I was enough at that time.
So your last season was 22.
2022, yes.
So 22. So it's funny that you said the workout with Tennessee because I was going to ask, like, everybody's time ends at some point, right? I never played, but I've done enough of these interviews with that you get the perspective of enough people. They tell you, like, some dudes know when it's time, when they're ready, and some dudes aren't ready, but the league tells them it.
Right.
In any sport, really. So when you walked away, like, were you still pushing to think, like, I think I want to go another year?
I'm a realist, man. So year 10, year 11, I'm a realist about stats, where I'm at, and I just knew that wasn't the ball I was used to playing. You watch film and you're like, man, I would have made that play a couple of years ago. So
was there a play you remember?
I do remember.
There has to be a moment.
It was a play where I remember, and I got a little emotional about it because it was I was in the gap. I got off the block.
Who are you playing? Tell me.
We're playing Seattle. So we're playing Seattle, and we're in Detroit. I think they're down, driving to kick a field goal. And we were in this, we were playing a 3-4, and I was in the 4. I had my nose to me. And nose gets washed out, and the B-gaps becomes huge, So I get off the block and try to make the tackle. I think I was tackling the big running back. His name was Penny, last name Penny. He was huge.
Oh, Rashad Penny.
Rashad Penny.
Yeah.
He was huge. He went through the gap, got the first down, and I was just like sick. And I didn't even go home that night. I went straight to the facility, got in the hot tub because I was just like, I lost us the game, So watching that play, and I was just like, man, father time has caught up to me, So that was really the play that kind of, I just knew. I just knew it was it, man. I just knew, like, my legs, I could have, stayed up a couple of years ago, probably stayed up, make that tackle. Now, 10 years, 11 years in, it's not happening. So that was eye-opening, rude awakening for me. But I was a realist about it. I seen that I wasn't playing the same ball. I wasn't, confused about where I was.
Yeah.
When Detroit told me they were letting me go, I was upset, but I kind of knew. And let's be real. You kind of knew that I didn't have it anymore. So, them telling me that, it was just like, dang, really? And I think that's why I said the workout with Tennessee later on that offseason kind of clarified, like, I still had it, but I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I didn't have to. I did well with my money throughout my, career. And, I just wanted I guess I wanted to know if I was still good enough to play. And Tennessee gave me that. With just the working out, the D-line coach telling me, like, bro, I feel like you can still go. I think that was enough for me to just say, you know what? I am enough, but I'm choosing not to play anymore. So that's the one-up I have on the NFL. I'm choosing not to play anymore.
Michael Brockers is our guest, of course, former Tiger grade first-round pick. Probably the most famous game you played in the Dome was one that I'd rather forget, which was the NOLA no call in 2018.
Yes.
Man, you can't laugh.
I didn't know that was y'all had a name for it.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not. I mean, I was on the other side of it, so I was kind of happy. But knowing that it's the NOLA no call.
No call, man. It is. Hey, so you want to know? Like, I'll tell you this. So me as a sports fan, right? As a kid, was born in New Orleans. Spent most of my life in Baton Rouge. Went to LSU. Diehard Saints Tigers fan. Like, that's been my whole life. All right. Like, the 2 worst days in my life as a sports fan. I'll tell you a third, too. But the 2, number 1, you were part of both of them.
That's crazy.
January 9th, 2012.
Yes.
21-0 against Alabama. And the Nolan no call, dude. I was sitting there lower. I was behind the Rams bench, probably about the 40-yard line, about 15 rows up, watching that. I mean, those two. And then the third would be you don't care about this, but the Yankees lost the 2001 World Series. Mariano Rivera blew a save. Luis Gonzalez, a little flare. Anyway, whatever. Right? I don't even need to go there. But anyway, so, like, when do people bring that game up to you? Because, like, that's a thing that is in the way that 2011 is lingering for LSU fans, like the one that got away, like the one you should have had. People here feel the same about 2018 with the Nolan no call.
The Nolan no call.
So what do you like? Do you ever think about that play? I mean, is that just not a part of
your? It's crazy because I was a part of the play. Like from the angle of where the back judge was looking, I was the one jumping up trying to get the ball. So from his angle, it looks like I tipped the ball. Maybe. We don't know. It's still the no call,
Wait,
right?
you're trying to say you tipped the ball?
Huh?
Oh, all right. Okay, all right. I was about to say, because this, like, I asked you that question not even knowing, like, that you were that involved in the play, man. But, like, you mean to tell me? Well, look at this.
Yeah,
man.
like if you look at it before, like I was, damn, if there was a video. But before, like right when the ball is coming out of Breeze's hand, it goes like right over my fingertips. So I don't know if you can find that, but yes, I was a part of that.
How in the world did I never know that component of this?
Man, you're not looking at the guy who almost tipped the ball. You're looking at the play.
But Mike, whenever you watch that play a million times, you've watched what you think is every angle and every possible element of that play.
Right.
I mean, now maybe it's just something where I recognize it then. I'm just trying to block it out of my mind at this point. All right, I got to find the video of that. Michael Brockers is hanging out with us. Hey, you know one of the things that was interesting, like we were talking before we came on, you're a Houston guy who came to LSU. Like, remind us why LSU back then, like why you picked LSU.
Because I bleed, purple and gold.
Was it
bro.
always that way, like growing up?
I mean, obviously I grew up in Texas, so I didn't really get into football probably until 10, 11. So I was all Cowboys because we had no Houston team at that time. So I'm all Cowboys. And as I'm growing up and starting to learn like the football and watch college and things like that, I'm watching Texas A&M, and I'm like, bro, they are scoring a lot, and there's no defense on the field. It feels like there's no defense on the field. Then I change the channel and watch an SEC game, and I feel like there's defensive players all over the field. And, every single one of them, and a couple of months later, they get drafted in the first round. So for me, I was like, LSU's only 4 hours away, not far away from home. The same distance from, Houston and Dallas. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. I can get back home if I needed to in an emergency. But, man, I bled purple and gold, bro. Like, and I still do. Like, I love LSU. Like, there's no other college in the world that I'm really worried about. I'm watching LSU. My kids are watching LSU. You will rock purple and gold. And that's just me because I am before the NIL. Yeah. I'm not a transfer portal guy. I was at LSU. I had to sit behind a bunch of first rounders. I had to wait my turn, and I was willing to do that because I loved LSU, and that's just who I am.
You know what's weird about that too, man? Like I remember. I guess I'm not old, but I'm getting older. Like I've been around for a minute now, but like. I covered the Cotton Bowl that you all played Texas A&M in, and I have a very vivid memory of you, not from the game, but you redshirted when you came to LSU, and in 10 you were a redshirt freshman. But do you remember the hotel where y'all stayed? It was the Hilton Anatole. Do you remember it all? It was a giant atrium.
Okay.
And there was a huge, like, 3-story escalator. And I remember, like, the teams coming down in the windsuits and all coming down the escalator. I said, like, because I cover the team, right? I'm like, the hell is that? I was like, and it was, I'm like, that guy redshirted? And so I've used you as an example for years, man, because you were a guy, like, I think, because you left after your redshirt sophomore year. So LSU really only got one season out of you, full on.
One full season.
And so I've always said Les Miles, after Michael Brockers went pro after the 11th season, changed the way he approached recruiting. Because he said, we're no longer telling guys come and sit.
Right.
If you're You? No, you're gonna play right away, and we're gonna get you to the league in 3 years.
Right.
And they changed the way they recruited after that. I don't even know if was that part of your recruitment? They told you you were coming to
I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to LSU not expecting, but I wanted to play for LSU. I didn't know if it was gonna be first right off. I didn't know. I knew there were some juniors and seniors in front of me, but I didn't know I was gonna play. So I was willing to wait it out to get on the field. I was lucky enough to have had juniors and seniors in front of me who helped me and learn the game. So I had Al Woods, I had
Nevis.
Drake Nevis. I had a lot of guys, Pep Livingston. I had a lot of guys in front of me who taught me the game. So I was willing to sit back, learn, because when I got from inner city Houston high school to SEC football, it's a rude awakening, bro. It's a rude awakening, and I was willing to say, you know what, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting bodied by tight ends in the SEC, and that's not supposed to happen ever, So let me sit back, learn the game, and, allow you guys to teach me, and I will do what I have to do after that. But I was just a quick learner, very coachable, and I no quit, man. I have desire to do whatever I want to, So I think at LSU, there were points in my time where I wanted to quit. Coach Moffitt, thank you for making me the best player ever, the best player I could be, because he put me through the ringer, bro.
Put everybody through the ringer.
He put me through the ringer, but he made me such a better player for that. So, I owe a lot to Coach Moffitt, too. I don't think he knows that, but I say it every time I get a chance. He helped me get through life, honestly.
Man, there is so much more that I want to talk to you about. We got to run. Let's do this again.
Yes.
Soon. Real quick before you go, your podcast, your merch, where can people go?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram heavy. So at The Broadcast is my podcast.
So Brock, BROCKCAST, at
yes, sir.
The Broadcast, okay?
The Broadcast is my podcast site.
Can we make sure we tag the Broadcast on Instagram? Okay.
Please do, because I think this is what this is about, collab and networking.
Oh, Alonzo's going to take care of it.
All right.
She'll take. She got it.
Personally, MBrockers90 is my tag, and my clothing line, which is Brock Brand Clothing. Don't stay ready, get ready is our kind of motto. Also, quality over quantity, man. These quality of these shirts are, legit. So feel it. Yeah, come on now. So yeah, man, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing real estate, like I told you. So just being a serial entrepreneur, I want to be a boss. I didn't want to have to be an employee for anybody. I want to be the boss.
Great former Tiger, doing awesome things, man. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Congrats on all the success.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Thank
do it
you.
again soon, man. That is Michael Brockers. It's After Further Review, y'all. Let's knock out a quick break. We're going to come back from Media Row here. Our coverage all week is presented by L'Auberge Baton Rouge. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Action Industries, actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated. Look, if you have a job coming up inside the fence, you know the only two ways people get hired: exemplary safety record, and, of course, you do fantastic work. Action Industries, check and check. That's how they've been around for more than 40 years, servicing the greater Baton Rouge area and all the plants up and down the river. So if you got that job coming up, talk to Action Industries. One of the things that certainly differentiates Action Industries is the fact that, look, you can hire some of these mega contractors, and that's cool, but understand sometimes maybe you got that 100-person job and you don't feel like you're a priority. At Action Industries, you're getting the best of all their people. It's Action Industries. Check them out online, actionindinc.com. That's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low Bearish Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
We missed Shea Dixon last week because he was in Nashville for an On-3 event, but the final On-300 came out. We had LSU Junior Day. Tigers had a decommitment yesterday. They picked up a quarterback today, a local quarterback in Emil Picarella. So a ton to talk about. Glad to have Shea with us. Shady, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Yes, my event better summed up as met with the people who signed my checks, and I do still have a job. So yes, it was. I'm back. A success.
A necessity, yes. We're glad you are, man. Hey, let me start with there's a bunch that I want to get through here. Let me start with Junior Day this past weekend. I would love to know through your lens what you thought were the biggest storylines or takeaways from Junior Day this weekend.
You know, I think the biggest thing for me is twofold. One, when you look at this current 2026 class in Louisiana, and we've talked about the local guys like Lamar Brown at U High, a 5-star, Blaine Bradford at Catholic, a 5-star, and the state, all of the top 10, all of whom have been offered by LSU before this past weekend, are all top on 300 prospects. So 5-star, 4-stars, very highly regarded at all these positions. So we knew Louisiana would be deep, but to already have commits from about half the group, I think is a pretty big deal. And you're looking at it, look, receivers they took early that went on to be all-state. Kenny Darby led the state in receiving. Ja'Kai Anderson out of McDonough 35, who's had an offer since his sophomore year, was an all-state selection. And you're closing in on a guy like Jabari Mack, who was there this past weekend out of Destrehan, who is a top 50 prospect. Obviously, they have a pretty high hit rate at Destrehan of getting guys to LSU, and that would be a 1-2-3 punch at receiver just in Louisiana that I think Matt lines up with when people say, oh, well, Louisiana is synonymous with turning out these future pros of the position. They're talking about guys like this. So I just thought that getting Bradford, Brown, all those other guys back to campus was big. I was a little, maybe not surprised, but I think their ducks are in a row enough to do this where they went into the weekend with the 2027 class, which is Elijah Haven, for instance, Dunham's quarterback. Only 3 guys who were sophomores had been offered in Louisiana. On Saturday, Matt, in the span of a few hours, Frank Wilson and Brian Kelly doubled that. They offered 3 more guys. Hamilton Christian, in fact, Jamin Vitale Jr., or Vital Jr., that's their first ever LSU offer to anyone in Hamilton Christian's program over in Lake Charles. So
yeah, I was about to ask, where is that? I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, Lake Charles.
Okay.
And then obviously maybe the most notable kind of future offer went out to a local kid.
Say it.
And Jaden Miles.
Hey, Cali High.
That's where it goes. So, Matt.
That's where he goes.
Let's take off the glasses here. Are you surprised that Frank Wilson offered him after his sophomore season and what you saw?
No, he's a 6'2", 200-pound sophomore running back. I mean, it's easy to see the projectable.
When I posted his photo of him and Frank, it might have been, or BK, to our message board on the Bengal Tiger, that was everyone's response. Was, yeah, I believe the 6'2", that's a no-brainer offer right there. So, yeah, they just signed 2 top 10 running backs out of Louisiana. Now you offer one that looks pretty promising for the future. But the one thing that did come out of the weekend from the 2026 class, like I said, they've been on those guys for so long, was that over in Franklin Parish, Desirian Ellis got an offer, and he was an all-state quarterback, but he's an athlete. He did everything for him, throws it, runs it. But Corey Raymond was the one who makes the offer. So early on, Corey's not handing out a bunch of offers. I think we can at least identify one guy in this kind of next wave of recruiting as we get to know the fan base gets to know these in-state prospects. As Franklin Parish has got a corner that clearly, or a DB, I should say, that Corey's got an eye on and made an offer to.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Coming out of the weekend, Shea, oftentimes we hear of commitments after weekends like this. The Tigers didn't get a commitment. They actually lost one in Jerylan McCoy, who, I mean, Shea, we talked to him about a month ago, I think, when he committed. What happened here that McCoy ended up decommitting?
I think that he was looking to get on board early with a team, and LSU was kind of on the list of teams that was out there, and said, all right, yeah, let's go ahead and get on board. And we're still pretty far out from signing day, and he's a Mississippi kid, Tupelo. So when he was at Ole Miss's junior day this past weekend and not LSU's, and then Ole Miss not only, has the offer out, but kind of turned up the heat, staying in state for Tupelo kids is pretty normal. So it wasn't a shock at all that he decommits on Monday, and then the wave of picks for him to land at Ole Miss start happening the same day, I should say, that he opened things back up. So really, Mississippi is no different than Louisiana, where, when Ole Miss comes calling, or if you're a kid from around the Starkville area and when state's all over you, it's really tough to pull them away.
Shea, we'll obviously talk plenty about the 2026 guys as we get closer, but it was obviously a notable weekend this weekend. Also, last week when you and I didn't have a chance to talk when you were out of town, they On3 released the final On 300, and no surprise, you've been predicting this for months, that Carius Kern would get his 5th star, which he did. But the guy that I actually want to ask you about, who was the biggest riser, you tell me if I'm wrong, if there was somebody else, but Teron Francis went from somewhere in the 200s to a top 80 overall prospect or something like that. What happened there that Teron Francis became all of a sudden a top 100 prospect?
A really good senior year. And look, Carr is obviously went back to the Dome, and they've got talent galore. But even when you watched him over the summer at camp and the rankings team came down and they watched him as well, it was one of those things where it was like, all right, we want to watch his senior year because he looks like a top 300 guy, but maybe expect him to take over a little more. And I feel like they call him man-child. I feel like he just turns it on. And it's like when the lights come on, he's on. And he had a great senior year. And that was one whenever I got the call from the rankings team, and they said, hey, look, this is some moves we're making. And I said, well, back up there, how far are y'all moving Teron Francis up? And they said, hey, look, we watch all the receivers out there across the country. And senior year-wise, coupled just with his athleticism, Louisiana guy coming out of Carr, and they said he's a top 100 prospect. So good on him. Another guy who was LSWA All-State. So they signed a bunch of them, and they'll take it.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Hey, let me ask you also about Emil Picarella. For those that missed the story today, local kid out of U High who, Shea, was a 3-star and had big-time offers, but is going to walk on at LSU. Tell us two-part about Picarella and how this all came together.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where Ole Miss, others had been involved over the past year, and then I think you looked at some of the in-state schools and weighed his options, and I haven't heard from him, but I've talked to others that he feels, hey, look, want to come to LSU. I want to be a Tiger. I'll take a PWO over some smaller offers and kind of see where it takes me. And they'll take another arm in the quarterback room right now. So with signing day, tomorrow? Yeah, I guess I'm sure U-High will have some sort of ceremony, but he'll be on as a PWO and add one more to the quarterback room who is a familiar face. And I mean, we've got him listed 6'2", 210. Anyone who's from Baton Rouge has seen him play. So I think it's one of those where Joe Sloan gives the green light right away if he's in the spot where he says, hey, look, I'm willing to come on board as a PWO.
Shea, I completely lost sight of the fact that tomorrow is signing day. I mean,
it's not, I just looked at the date and I was like, oh, tomorrow's Wednesday. Oh, that's right. Because I've seen some kids tweeting today about 24 hours to go. I was like, until what? Oh wait, it's signing day tomorrow, the one that nobody signs on anymore.
10 years ago, we would all been getting ready for the bash. Now we're here at
man, don't.
We're at Super Bowl Radio Row now.
You're really bringing me down now.
No. Let's end on a high note. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Y'all get him there at Shea Dixon. We appreciate it, Shea. Thanks as always, man.
Yeah, by this time tomorrow, Matt, everyone would not be able to walk out of the River Center to Bow or wherever it be. So
slinging ice cold Bud Lights, bro, from 8:30 in the morning on. Let's go, man.
All right, well, good times. Have fun down there, and we'll catch up next week.
All right, thanks, Shea. We appreciate it. That's Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. We're brought to you by Michele Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Of course, they're hiring as well. With 30 offices across 13 different states, they're always looking for people over at Michele. So get to the website, hit the careers tab at the top. Micheli, Michele.com, Michele.com. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. If you don't know what that is, you don't need it. If you know what it is, you know why it's important. It's Michele Weighing and Measurement, Michele.com, Michele.com. All right, let's knock out our final break here of hour number 1. Busy start. Mike Hoss, voice of the Saints. Michael Brockers was here with us. You just heard Shea. We'll knock out a quick break. Muse will hit Tigers. We'll hit Around the SEC when we come back to wrap up hour number 1. Next, Radio Row, presented by L'Auberge.
AFR
is brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel and the Watermark Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties. As we always tell you, Watermark, downtown Baton Rouge, the Renaissance, Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. The Watermark is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property with amazing river views. If you've never been to the Watermark, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. It is voted by you the best hotel in the best 225. It is the premier hotel property in town. And when you go up to the top of the of the Watermark Hotel, the Renaissance too, but the Watermark Hotel, you can see these beautiful, unobstructed river views. It is gorgeous to look at the city from that vantage point. I mean, the Watermark is Baton Rouge's original high-rise building downtown, is the Louisiana National Bank building, and they've maintained so much of the architectural history while adding the modern amenities. You got to check it out. Maybe go dine at the Gregory, have a cocktail at the bar, or stay or host your next event downtown at the Watermark Hotel.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low Barrish Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
You still got you got the tractor on the set there in studio, even though I'm not there?
No, it's not there.
Oh, God, dog. It's here in spirit. Big shout out to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, sunequip.com. Great time to get all that equipment serviced this time of year, sunequip.com. Okay, we had a whirlwind first hour here, right off the shoe with Mike Haas, who not only is the voice of the Saints, also is the communications director for the Superdome. So he told me he rode his bicycle from the Dome here to the convention center. Was going back. He's going right back and forth. It's easier to commute that way. Michael Brockers was here. We just had Shea Dixon catching up on some recruiting stuff. So to start hour two, I want to catch up on Kellen Moore, who met with reporters at opening night for the Super Bowl in the Dome Monday night, what Kellen Moore had to say about meeting with the Saints. We'll catch up on all that stuff coming up to start hour number two. Right now, though, Muse, take it away around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
Columbia, South Carolina, three-star cornerback Onis Konanbanny has flipped his commitment from Tennessee to Florida. He was pledged to the Vols since August the 23rd. Number 409 overall prospect, number 41 cornerback in the class of 2025, according to On3, the number 11 player out of the state of South Carolina.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables has announced that he will handle play-calling responsibilities for the Sooners defense in 2025. This gives him full control of the program's defense for the first time since he took over in 2021. The announcement comes after Oklahoma spent more than a month searching for its next defensive coordinator. Also announced by Venables, the addition of 2 new defensive assistants. Former Arkansas State DC Nate Dreiling, former Clemson defensive play caller Wes Goodwin. Dreiling handling inside linebackers. Goodwin will serve as outside linebackers and assistant linebackers coach and outside linebackers coach.
The Texas Longhorns.
Texas running backs coach Tashard Choice will remain in Austin after interviewing with the Dallas Cowboys. That's according to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. The courtship by the Cowboys will also get him a raise. Horns 247 reports he was set to earn $725,000 in 2025, but now that is going to be up in excess of $800,000. Choice was also pursued by the Las Vegas Raiders and the New Orleans Saints.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
South Carolina got state approvals for the Williams-Brice project on Tuesday. They also selected a design firm. The project, initially announced back in October, will focus primarily on the west side of the stadium with some improvements to the student experience on the north side, but ultimately will enhance the game day experience for all. Included in the initial plans are premium suites of varying sizes and the installation of club seats.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And finally, Kentucky, they will be without starting point guard Lamont Butler for the third straight game. That's according to the initial SEC injury report released on Monday night. Kentucky, number 14 in the country, travels to face Ole Miss, number 25 Ole Miss, in Oxford. Butler averaging career highs in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and field goal percentage so far this season. The Wildcats will get starting forward Andrew Carr back for this game. That is around the SEC.
Done by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Remember, when you hire Relief Windows, you're doing it once. One time, and you're done forever, because at Relief Windows, they offer a true lifetime transferable warranty. Oh, someone might save you money on the front end, but what are you getting? With Relief Windows, you never question that. Windows door siding, shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, hour number 2 from Radio Row, presented by Le Bears, coming up after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Take 60 seconds to remind you about Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. That's me, Terrio, Tilly, Joe Morales, Trent Davis, our great staff over at Parish Construction and Roofing. And there's 2 things primarily that I want to remind you of. Number 1, of course, is the importance of an inspection. Inspections are free, literally cost you nothing. And it's so important because one of our inspectors will get on your roof, walk it, mark it, chalk it, photos, drone video, everything. So you have documentation of the state your roof is in. And by the way, if you do have an issue, we can identify it for you and help you get it fixed. That's number 1. Number 2, remember, we also offer 12-month interest-free financing. So maybe you don't get an insurance claim approved, but you have to replace your roof. We can help you finance it. We can even help you finance your deductible. We'd love to help you out. It's Parish Construction and Roofing. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. When the Mavericks traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers over the weekend, everybody was shocked by one of the biggest trades in NBA history, including the 25-year-old superstar himself.
When I got a call, I had to check. It was April 1st. I didn't really believe it at first, and it was a bit shock. It was hard moments for me. It was home, so it was really hard moments for me, especially the first day. But as I said, I get to play in the greatest club in the world, and I'm excited for this new journey.
Luka Doncic, he said he also sees LA as a fresh start, feel he has everything to prove, and the goal is to win a championship. There is optimism. His Lakers debut could be Saturday. LA GM Rob Pelinka, meantime, admitting more needs to be done to make the team a true championship contender, knows they have a need for a big and are searching the trade market ahead of Thursday's deadline. Anthony Davis said he was shocked at first by the news he was traded to Dallas, but's over it by now. He believes he'll make his Mavs debut Thursday or Saturday. NFL, Andy Reid confirmed that he will return as Chiefs head coach in 2025.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Wednesday as we get you ready for the big game. I'll tell you some of the storylines I'm paying most attention to early in the game. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We are at Media Row, Super Bowl 59, our coverage all week presented by L'Auberge. I say it every year like we go to SEC Media Days or anytime we come to an event like this. I love coming to stuff like this because as structured as we are on the show a lot, you never know like who's just going to pass by your table and sit down. And I went to break, and a skinny dude walked up to me looking like he knew me. He's like, "Hey, Matt." I'm like, he goes, "John Battle." I was like, "John, no, dude, I would have never." And then the dude who's behind him, I recognized right away. That's Frank Herron. John, how much weight have you lost? By the way, former LSU Tigers, John Battle, Frank Herron joining us here at Media Row. Frank played with the Patriots in Super Bowl 53 when they beat the Rams. They would have got their heads kicked in had the Saints not gotten screwed by the refs in that game, but he don't want to talk about it. Is he? Is his mic? Oh, he's up. Okay. John, first and foremost, how are you guys? Y'all good?
I'm well.
Good.
I'm well.
It's
Great.
good to see you both,
Thanks for having
man.
me.
No, it's our pleasure. And I guess it's weird for me because I'm starting to feel like the old guy. Brockers was here a bit ago. Now y'all, I'm like, I covered y'all when y'all were in college. Now I'm like, I'm becoming the old guy. John, how much weight have you lost since you played?
Man, about 10 pounds.
Kids just have been 10 pounds.
10 pounds. I got
You
my
look
track body
lean.
back.
You look lean right now, man.
No sugars, no fried foods. That's the diet.
What are you doing?
So I'm director of player development at Duke. So
hence the Duke Jack.
Yep,
With Duke football?
Yes. Duke football.
No kidding, man.
Yep.
When did you start there?
So started in June this past summer. So I've been here for about 9 months now.
All right, hold on. Let's go back. All right. So you finished LSU.
Yep.
Your last season was 18.
Yep.
Take me from there. What did you do from 18 on?
So I played in the league about 3 years, 4 years with Tampa, Pittsburgh, with the Jets for a little bit. And then kind of got done playing and was like, all right, well, it's time to start life. What do you want to do? So my rookie year, we did an internship with the NFLPA, and it changed my life. So at that moment, I was seeing the disadvantage, I don't want to say disadvantage, but the disconnection that players had with the NFLPA. And so I kind of went on this whole mission to kind of, be the bridge between players and NFLPA so we can understand what resources we have and all that good things. So which segue into me now being the director of player development with Duke football.
So, I mean, that's Manny Diaz, the coach. So how did you connect with him?
Yeah. So kind of crossover. So I worked at the University of Miami prior to that. So in 2022. I was at the University of Miami doing like marketing and photography and all that good stuff.
Yeah, dude,
trying to put those skills together.
I know. I remember you shooting.
Yeah.
And of course, also, the first thing you said to me when you came up though is you remembered like this viral moment that John had on the show. I mean, you can go. Alondra reminded us. You can go find it on Twitter and places. John did an interview. I don't know. It might have been right when you were done playing.
I was training for the combine. Yep. And I just got back to Baton Rouge to get ready for pro day, and my smoke alarm I haven't changed it since I left, so it was just going off the entire time. And you were like, what is that noise in the back? Are you at a baseball park or something? And I'm like, no, man, I'm home. This is my smoke alarm going off. I got to change the batteries on this thing.
Well, the fact that the smoke alarm was beeping, was chirping, wasn't the thing. I was like, how long has it been? Yeah. Like, that's been months.
Yeah.
You just had a smoke alarm chirping in your house for months. Like, that happens to me for 2 minutes. I'm going to get the ladder and changing it immediately. Like, you're living with that chirp. That, to me, felt like borderline psychotic behavior. Like, I was like, Frank, do you agree? Like, there's a little.
Definitely a serial killer.
Right? That's what I'm talking about, Frank. I mean, thank you. And who's going to argue with him? Like, there's something a little disconnected there.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. With Duke and then Frank, like you finished LSU in
17.
Wait, do we agree that 17 was his last season?
17 was my last.
Yeah, so you were there for Ed's first full season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For his first full season. You go off to the league. You get a Super Bowl as a rookie, man. What's Super Bowl week like for a player?
Very intense. Trying to clean up the little things and make sure that the team is one focus, win the big game. We had great leaders like Tom Brady, Hightower, Bill Belichick, of course.
Yeah.
And, they kept us focused. And there's not much to do in Foxborough, so, main thing the main thing.
Yeah. Did everybody live in Foxborough? Or did you live in Boston?
I live in Foxborough.
Yeah. How far is it?
An hour.
Oh, okay.
Hour, 40 minutes from Boston, depending on traffic.
Yeah, so you got to stay close to the facility and all that stuff.
Very
close. When you come to something like this, does it feel familiar to what you experienced 7 years ago?
I want to say this is different. We didn't see all this.
Okay.
We didn't come to the media parts and all that. It was more in and out.
Yeah, man. And you're done playing? Your playing
done.
days are done?
Yeah.
So, I was looking at the place you went, man. Pat, Seattle, Tennessee, Detroit, Miami, Carolina, the Memphis Showboats. Like, I don't know if y'all know Big Fave, Marlon Fave, right?
Yeah,
But I talked to Big Fave about this a lot, too, because his path, like, he played, I mean, he just
kept going.
Kept going.
Gotta keep
and it's
going.
always interesting to talk to guys like, when do you know – when do you keep going? When do you know it's time to stop?
Young guys coming in, your body getting old. It's not about what you know about, physically, but the mental. And I feel like if you're not in it mentally and physically anymore, get out.
Yeah.
Don't play with it. Let some young guy come eat.
Did you know that you were there?
Oh, yeah, I was declining. I was definitely declining. Bones start aching.
Yep.
Mental, time away from the family, and it just, comes to a time, time to stop.
Yeah, man. It's funny. I was asking Brockers the same thing, and he was talking about when he got cut in Detroit, but he had another workout with Tennessee, and the Tennessee coach told him he could still play. He said, that's all I needed to hear, and then he walked away. It was interesting to see. John Battle and Frank Herron, former Tigers, are here with us. So John, with your career now, is it love of the game? I mean, what keeps you close to football, wanting to work in a football department?
Man, it's really just having great teammates like Frank, to where you just have that connection and just want to see them be better in life, just being done with the game. So that's kind of my passion, is just kind of helping guys figure out the next thing. So I was savvy enough to where I found photography and different things like that when I was playing as a player, to where it gave me some other form of purpose in a sense, more identity in a way, you can kind of say. So, but that's the true passion, is because I know what that feeling is like when you're done playing, and it's a huge kind of hole that you can get yourself into you know, if you don't properly manage yourself kind of doing that transition. And that's like I said, that's my biggest piece, is just really trying to get the guys to kind of get over that hump and get to the next level of chapter of life.
Yeah.
And a big thing, not to cut you off,
No,
like
please.
John has been a huge part of my transition because I talk to him every day.
Yeah.
And, you know, Frank, do this, try this, try this, try this. You know, a lot of guys don't try. You know, we're not on schedule anymore, from workouts, practice, eating meals. You know, you really doing your own thing legally. And, you know, he throws different things at me that, Frank, you should try, and it works out. When you got guys like teammates that you connect with.
Where are you living, Frank?
I'm staying in Houston, Texas right now.
So you're in Houston, okay? Because you're from Memphis, right?
Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm from Memphis now in Houston. So what are you doing?
Right now, I'm looking to open up a franchise. Smoothie King, Raising Cane's.
Walk-ons.
Walk-ons. Those are the main things I want to do.
I know a guy. I can put you.
Those are the main things I want to do right now. I feel like that's where my passion at. I want to own a couple franchises.
Okay. What led you there to want to do it?
My coach, Brian Williams, my high school coach, RIP, Brian Williams, opened up a Smoothie King, and he said, Frank, it's one of the legitimate business that you can grow from, and you really can make some money outside of football. Yeah. And he did it, went to Dallas for 6 weeks, told me all about it. So that's the goal in a couple of years.
Okay. Well, we know walk-ons and canes people here. We can make that. We can make an introduction if that's what you need.
Yes.
Hey, I want to talk. Well, I got a couple of minutes left. I want to ask you guys just some LSU days questions when you think back about it. You know, John, you played in 2018, so you were there with Burrow's first year. Like, everyone always asks the question a certain way. I'll just ask you, man. Like, could you have seen – because 2018 Joe Burrow wasn't 2019 Joe Burrow.
Right.
Could you have seen the makings of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Joe, I go back to our first team meeting that we had, players-only team meeting that we had before the season. And this is when we named Joe the starter. And at that time, we had a quarterback competition with Justin McMillan, Leroy Narcisse. Yep. And those are our guys. They've been with us for a long time. They're, you know, they work their way up the roster, and then this new guy just comes in the building with this golden hair just glowing, and we're like, who is this dude? And Coach O made it. It's like, hey, Joe's gonna be our guy, and he stood up in front of the entire team. Was like, hey guys, I know you guys don't know me. I really don't care. You know, I'm here to win. And then from that moment, we're like, we got a guy.
Yeah,
we got a guy. We got a guy. So, yeah, from that moment, I seen it in Texas A&M, the 7 overtime game. He comes up to me. I want to say it's overtime 6 at this point. He's like, JB, like, you got to tell the defense, man, we got to get a stop. I don't know if I can go back out there. And I looked at him, and that was the first time I've seen some form of weakness in the armor. And I was like, Joe, we got to win this game. And then he was like, you're right. Went back out there, scored again, and then he just fell out in the locker room, like literally left it all out on the line. So, yeah, I seen it kind of, you know, the stars kind of lining for him in a sense.
He's been incredible.
Oh man, especially human.
Well, when I was in training in Orlando at Tom Shaw, a lot of Ohio State guys told me, you guys got a guy. Yeah. Don't be surprised you win that championship in 2 years. So.
Yeah. Frank, you got to play not only for Coach O as a head coach, but as also a position coach as well, man. What's it like having Coach O as your coach?
Well, I can't say Coach O because I had another guy, Pete Jenkins, that helped out a lot in that room. So I just can't say.
We love Coach Pete. He comes on the show all the time.
I just can't say Coach
like
O.
One of my favorite people.
I just can't say Coach O or Coach Pete. Both of those guys played a tremendous role. Individually wise, Coach O was connected with us, but Coach Pete taught us technique, consistency, and he gave me a different love for the game that I didn't see my first couple of years at LSU.
Yeah, man. Two great dudes, man. Coach Pete is
phenomenal.
God, he's awesome.
He's phenomenal.
He's the best. He's the best.
He gonna give you what he got every day.
Every day.
The other day, this is about a month ago. Coach Pete called because our show's on TV. You know, he's got a house in Baton Rouge and a house in Destin. He called me and said, Matt, I had to tell you this. Like, Matt, you know,
that's perfect.
I was trying to put on your program, and I couldn't find it. It's not on channel 19, and so I said, Donna, I can't find Matt's program. I was getting upset, and I realized I was in Destin. I was like, Coach P, we got to show you streaming, man. You can put us on YouTube. No, I love it, man. He's the best.
He's awesome. I love it when he just breaks down after a touchdown. He just start crying. He's just like, that was such a great play. And just crying. It's like, what's wrong with Coach? He's just happy that
he's happy. He's so good, man. John Battle, Frank Kellen, Frank Herron, former Tiger greats, man. We appreciate you guys for stopping by. I'm glad y'all said hello, man. Y'all have a great day the rest of the day.
Great to see you, Matt.
Appreciate it, man. Be well. All right, it's after further review. Let's knock out a quick break. When we come back, the New Orleans Saints look to be hiring Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore met with reporters on Monday evening. We'll let you hear some of what he said. We'll do that as we continue next here on AFR.
After further review.
Love telling you about Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, look, Rouse's, of course, this weekend, Super Bowl Sunday. You're going to be having a Super Bowl party. Whatever you're throwing on the grill, chips, dips, beverages for the kids, for the adults. You know they got that as well. And, of course, king cakes at Rouse's. Man, over the course of Carnival, Rouse's will bake 600,000 king cakes. They're pretty good at it, y'all. So get by a Rouse's. Which Rouse's? Any Rouse's. They got 70 of them, from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, points in between. Rouse's.com is the website. Remember, Rouse's can ship your king cake anywhere in the lower 48. So if you got a family member, friend, client outside of Louisiana, you want to send them a little piece of Carnival wherever they are, you can do it. Rouse's.com. You could ship a king cake there. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you. Serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environment.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
.104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust want to help cover your car payments. It's a $5,000 grand prize with a bonus chance to win free car washes from Benny's Car Wash for 6 months. We're also letting you earn extra entries by subscribing to our LouisianaSports.net daily newsletter. To sign up, visit 1045ESPN.com.
Sorry, Muse.
It's good.
You just hang out on Radio Row. You just, you may have to fix the camera again, Alondra. I don't know where the shot is, but it's just the thing I love about doing stuff like this, man, and very candidly between just you and me talking. And Muse will tell you this. Muse and Paulie both know. I am probably as structured you can say, that's fine. It's whatever, Alondra. We're good. Thank you for being professional, but it's fine. She's dragging away the chairs and the headsets and all that stuff. I am as structured as they come when it comes to the show and how we have everything, the different segment, breakdown, timing, everything. This is so doing a Radio Row event, media days here, whatever. It is dramatically different than how we normally structure a show. And it used to, I used to hate this because I am very structured. I want to know what's in what place when. And I don't know how many years ago it got to the point where I just said, you know what, it always works out. It just does. And like that. I mean, I was about to come out of the top of the hour, ready to talk about Kellen Moore, meeting with the media at the opening night of the Super Bowl, and John Battle walked up, and he's wearing a Duke vest. I don't know if you could see it, but John was wearing a Duke vest. And I'm like, who is this guy in the Duke vest coming to tell me hi like he knows me? And he said, John, immediately it just hit me. I mean, I haven't seen John in 10 years, but I don't know, maybe not quite 10 years, but a long time. And anyway, great to see those guys, man. Seem like they're doing really well. You know, it's funny, not funny, haha, just interesting. I'm just riffing here, but you know, when you cover a team, you're around the players and the coaches a lot. I don't know necessarily that you say you're not friends or anything, you're not going to dinner and hanging out and stuff, but you get to know people, and it's good to see those guys. Looks like they're both doing awesome, and I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Brockers as well, just a bit ago. So we'll have many more to come. I know tomorrow, yesterday was it was a slow build as people were starting to arrive. Today, when it got here, it was just the popcorn bag had popped and it was full. But everyone says Wednesday is when things really start to ramp here this week. And, I'll tell you, some of the things we already have on the schedule for Wednesday. Demario Davis, Brian Brzee, Q Myers from ESPN, Chiefs play-by-play man Mitch Holthus, Laura Oatman will be here with, I think that's with Hunt. Harry Douglas will be on AFR. Buddy Jay Cicero will be here. Evan Cohen from ESPN, Michelle Smallman, Deuce McAllister, ESPN betting analyst Tyler Fulgham. Lorenzo Neal will be on OTB on Friday. Dustin Poirier. We're going to have the opportunity also to speak to Lauren Daigle. I don't know where that is on the calendar, but it's one of these days. Lauren Daigle is going to be on AFR. Anyway, all that to say, we got a ton, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and more that'll even join later. But we're excited to be here. So Monday, Adam Schefter reported that barring any setback, Kellen Moore is going to be the new coach of the New Orleans Saints. I think that's something many of us had assumed, the world had assumed was going to happen. However, the reports late last week that the Saints had not made a decision, that they had not advised any candidates they were out of the running, that they wanted to meet and interview Kellen Moore again after the Super Bowl, had led me and others to say, like, they're not 100% sold yet. So, excuse me. If they were, there would be a report that exactly what Schefter reported on Monday. But instead, that report came on Monday, and it came. And then late Monday was the opening night at the Superdome. And so Kellen Moore and every coach and every player was available to the media. And he didn't say much as far as being wordy, and he really can't say much as well. But he was asked about how the meetings went with the New Orleans Saints. Here's what he said.
It's been a great experience meeting with Mickey and the rest of that leadership group, and so obviously had 2 opportunities to meet with them. Obviously now the focus is on this game, and then we'll let that situation play itself out after.
He was asked to follow up. Here it was on just that interview process with New Orleans.
Again, it was just a great opportunity to meet the leadership group from Mickey and all the rest of the leadership group in New Orleans. It's a great group. It's a group that really cares about the team, cares about football. Had great conversations with those guys, and we'll see where it takes us.
Admittedly and obviously, Kellen Moore can't say, like you said, great conversations. We'll see where it takes us. He can't say anything more, and I don't anticipate him to. So it's just what it is. So the line of questioning started to become more theoretical, which maybe you can glean some things. Like, for example, Kellen Moore was a play caller in Dallas. He was the play caller in Los Angeles with the Chargers. He's a play caller right now with the Eagles. Would he call plays as a head coach, or would he hire an offensive coordinator? Here's what he said.
Certainly, I would view it that way. Yeah, I'd love to call plays. Certainly, it's a passion of mine. It's something that has gotten me to this place, and so certainly, you'd hate to stop doing what you love, and as you go through this journey.
I am perfectly fine with that. I think around the league of head coaches that call, Sean Payton called plays in New Orleans. Sean McVay calls plays in L.A. You think of Kevin O'Connell. Kyle Shanahan, it is Andy Reid. It is quite common for offensive-minded head coaches to call plays. And if I'm being frank, I want him to call plays, if in fact he does become the head coach, because that is the appeal of hiring a coach that is a specialty in one side of the ball, that they can handle that side of the ball, because there's always this concern that the example that we're going to look to is Detroit. Detroit undeniably knocked it out of the park with Dan Campbell as far as hiring a coach that can build culture. He's built a winning culture in a place that had none for the last half a century, okay? More than that even. Detroit was Loserville, USA forever. Dan Campbell comes in, and they have changed that culture and the vibe around that franchise, the city, the team, the field, everything. But he also nailed his coordinator hires with Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Both are now head coaches. So we are about to find out how good Dan Campbell really is, because we know that he promoted Kelvin Shepard to defensive coordinator. How much of a gap is there? How much of a fallback is there going from a guy like Aaron Glenn to Kelvin Shepard? And then we're going to find the same thing on the offensive side of the ball. Can you continue to hit on those coordinators? Because if your success relies on your coordinators, you got to keep hitting when you lose those guys. When you are the guru on one side of the ball, it stands to reason. Like, if you're the guru on one side of the ball, not going to say it doesn't matter who your coordinator is, but you always have that safety net, because you're the one tutoring the quarterbacks. You're the one calling the plays. You're the one scheming in game. So all of that is, let me catch up with you. All of that is super significant when hiring a head coach, in my opinion. It's not a necessity, as evidenced by Dan Campbell, but it's one of the reasons, one of the appeals, in my opinion, of having a guy that can handle one side of the ball. So if it is Kellen Moore, I would want him to call plays. Long way of saying that. So, yes, I would be excited about that. 2 more. One, here was Kellen Moore talking about traits that he feels a head coach must have. Again, a lot of this became theory when they were talking to Moore. Here it is.
Yeah, obviously, I think it's a leadership role. You got to lead the group. You got to be an expert in some capacity, to what you're teaching, and you got to be able to communicate at a really high level.
I will tell you also, it is published right now at louisianasports.net. Our guy Ross Jackson had a chance to visit one-on-one with Kellen Moore at opening night. He had an opportunity to visit with him just in a one-on-one capacity. And a lot of the conversation did gear to that right there, which was his leadership style. Remember, Moore wasn't going to be able to say much as far as the Saints' job. He did talk about the interview in New Orleans. He was asked about Derek Carr. He mentioned them playing against each other in college. But that entire interview, the one-on-one with Ross Jackson and Kellen Moore, is at the top of louisianasports.net if you want to check it out right now. But one more, and this is going to be for Kellen Moore or whoever takes over this job in New Orleans. It is going to be the most important part of how this all transpires, and it's the Saints roster in the state that the roster is currently in. Here was Kellen Moore.
I think there's a lot of good pieces. We came down here, we had a really good battle, week 3, and it was a challenge, and we were fortunate to come out here with a win. And so, every time you come down here, it seems to be a challenge.
Again, we're playing it for the sake of having Kellen Moore's on-the-record comments on air, not saying much. When he's hired, he'll say much more, but he's right. Week 3 was a challenge for the Philadelphia Eagles, but for the brain fart at the end of the game and the incredible play by Saquon and Goddard, for that matter, the Saints probably start 3-0. It's a game that they lost Eric McCoy, remember, in the first offensive series, and it really it changed the game because of what Philly's interior of their defensive line was able to do. But all that to say, Kellen Moore becomes the head coach, whoever becomes the head coach, there are going to be major roster decisions that have to be made. Because as we mentioned, the Saints right now are the fourth oldest roster in the NFL. All of your top contracts, Derek Carr, Cam Jordan, Tamario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, older players, Ryan Ramczyk, although that's now been restructured, as we know. Older players near the end. So coaching and calling plays in offense and all is one thing, what happens at quarterback, but also your roster construction is going to be massive for Kellen Moore or whoever takes this job. So just a little bit from the Eagles' offensive coordinators. He's getting ready to call plays in the biggest game of his life before potentially taking over in New Orleans. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com. You want your reservations? You can get them there. Supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Remember, a week from Friday is Valentine's Day. They are booked on Valentine's Day, but some limited availability on Thursday and Saturday. So if you still want to get into Supper Club, experience Supper Club for Valentine's Day. You can thrill her with that great experience at Supper Club. Supperclubbtr.com for your reservations, supperclubbtr.com. I love how they can always do the little extras. If you want flowers at the table for her when you arrive, they can arrange that at Supper Club. You want the custom drink toppers, you get them a PDF file of the photo. Maybe you want something from your first date or from your wedding, something like that. They can have that photo as your custom drink topper at your table. So just all the little extras that they make it an incredible dining experience. And we haven't even started talking about the food. It's Supper Club. Supperclubbtr.com. Supperclubbtr.com. Okay. It is After Further Review. We're glad you're with us here. We're at Radio Row, Super Bowl 59. Our coverage all week presented by L'Auberge Baton Rouge. When we come back, we all know that LSU missed out on Bryce Underwood and signing a quarterback. They have found a solution at quarterback. It's a name we mentioned about a month ago, and we'll talk about him next. Stay with us here. It is AFR.
After Further Review.
It is After Further Review, presented by our friends over at Duplessis Builders. I was going to say the cold weather, but let's be real, y'all, it was 80 degrees today. I mean, we're going to get a few more cold snaps, but we're going to be into pool season before you know it. If you want to be swimming in your own custom pool at your home for pool season, you got to act now. I mean, we are already into February. Remember, there's so many great custom pool builders that do beautiful work. The difference with Duplessis is Derek Duplessis is a mechanical engineer with a minor in aerospace engineering who took his engineering background and decided, you know what, I want to build pools. And because they take the time to do it right, yes, they'll build you a beautiful pool, but they're also going to build you one that lasts. Comes with a 10-year workmanship warranty. But he's also very upfront. To do it right takes time. So if you want to be swimming by pool season, you need to call now. Log on, DuplessisBuilders.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
The lure of whiskey and wine knows no bounds. A couple of gentlemen from Philly just stopped by the table. They said, hey, I love the wine and whiskey show. Oh, man. I'll go to my grave being known for whiskey and wine. I guess there's worse things to be known for. It's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here from Radio Row. Our coverage presented by L'Auberge. It is a Tuesday. Of course, every Tuesday, AFR is powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Visit sunequip.com, sunequip.com. Of course, they got mowers and gators on top of the tractors and all the farm equipment. Sunequip.com. Remember, nothing runs like a deer. So of course, the biggest story around LSU almost 2 months ago now was the fact that Bryce Underwood decommitted from LSU and flipped to Michigan. We all know the story by now. Billionaire. His wife loves Michigan, drops $12 million on Bryce Underwood, and Underwood, who is as solid as you could possibly be to LSU, ends up at Michigan. It was so late in the process that LSU couldn't necessarily get in on a quarterback. all the top quarterbacks in the country at that point had been committed. The quarterback that was committed to North Carolina, briefly decommitted after Mac Brown was fired, but ultimately after Bill Belichick was hired, ended up recommitting and signing with North Carolina. So we kind of looked at who was available, and the top unsigned quarterback in the state of Louisiana was Emil Picarella. And it's a name we mentioned about a month ago, casually. Not that it was necessarily anything that was a done deal in any way. But just as to say that was potentially a possibility if you're looking to add somebody that could be a development type guy that may be really excited to be part of the class. And on Tuesday morning, which as we learned was Emil Picarella's birthday because he tweeted about it, he committed to LSU as a preferred walk-on. Now, I do want to be clear. This isn't your common garden variety, hold a clipboard, walk-on. So if you don't know Emil Picarella's background, he started his high school career in Mississippi. And he played 2 seasons in Mississippi. And at that time, he was one of, in the early rankings, he was a top 10 quarterback in the country for the class of 2025, again, early in their process. And he had big-time offers, y'all. He had offers from Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Kentucky, Houston, Pitt, Boston College, Louisville. He had some legitimate offers, right? Well, after his sophomore year of high school, so May of 2023, Picarella, their family, they moved to Baton Rouge, and he transfers to U-High. And he becomes a 2-year starter at U-High, at the lab school. And, of course, U-High has become a great program. They got tons of talent in that program. Keelan Moses, who just, of course, signed with LSU, and a long list. Lamar Brown, who's the number 1 offensive lineman in the country for next year, is from U-High. So he joined a very talented roster. And as a junior in 2023, the 2023 season, Picarella threw for over 2,300 yards and 34 touchdowns. He had a monster junior year. Comes back this year for his senior season, has a good season, but the stats were down. And if you're not familiar with the U-High program, it's a very, very unfortunate situation that happened, but there was a clerical error with their transfer, and they ended up being banned from the postseason. So their season, which very likely would have, if not would have, been a season that ended in the Dome, ended prematurely because of really what amounted to a clerical error dealing with a transfer. And I was asking Jake Hester earlier today, if you don't know, Jake's boys go to the lab school. His oldest, Jackson, was on I believe, a freshman on the football team this year. And I was asking Jake about Emil Picarella. I was like, no, he was a really good player. There were some things this year where, some bad weather games, and there wasn't a lot of offense in some games. But anyway, all that to say, Emil Picarella is he's 6'3", 210. He's listed officially at 6'2", 210. Good size, good arm, good prospect. At one point was a top 10 prospect in the class of 2025, and ultimately decided to pass on some smaller scholarship offers to be a preferred walk-on for the Tigers. As a matter of fact, in his tweet, he put, "Happy birthday to me. I can't wait to live out my dream. Thank you for the opportunity, Coach Sloan." He tagged Joe Sloan, Brian Kelly, Jordan Arsaman, Nathan Purvis, all in the tweet. But, a couple of things. Number one, there's 2 parts of this. It's the prospect and it's the quarterback room and how the numbers build out. The prospect is a guy that early in his high school career was very highly thought of. For whatever reason, the recruitment didn't really carry through his senior year. Joe Sloan, though, because Picarella plays on LSU's campus, they've seen him plenty. And this is a guy that is the number 40 quarterback in the country. So he's a consensus 3-star. It's not like this was a no-star prospect. He's a 3-star prospect who had smaller offers but just decided he would rather walk on at LSU than go play somewhere else. Now, this is not Bryce Underwood. This is not the transcendent-type player that LSU thought they were going to have in this class. But remember, so the other part of this, the other component of this is, okay, the player, but then also the quarterback room. So just as you look in 2025, you've got Garrett Nussmeier coming back for a 5th year. But when you lost Ricky Collins to the transfer portal and A.J. Swan, you were left with two players. You were left with Nuss for his 5th season, and you were left with redshirt freshman Colin Hurley, who's only 17 years old. That was it. So you had to go into the transfer portal and add another guy. So to sort of fill the gap in the middle. So they add Michael Van Buren from Mississippi State. So now you have Nuss, Michael Van Buren, and Colin Hurley. But there's only 3, right? So you're a turned ankle away from really being in a bind. And sometimes you just need another guy that can be a quote-unquote camp arm, someone that can get out there and make passes when you're in practice and run the scout team and all that sort of stuff. And that may be the path for Picarella, at least early in his career. But I would present it to you this way as you look ahead. And all these are so hypothetical, and I understand it. But in an NIL era, nothing can be assumed as far as longevity. And one of the things that I said whenever you didn't get Bryce Underwood, and some of you pushed back on this, I said LSU's next starter after Nussmeier, I don't believe is on the team. And it wasn't in any way meant to be disrespectful to Ricky Collins or to Colin Hurley. But it's just to say that this is an era in which, number one, guys don't stay, and number two, you have the opportunity always to go add veteran players. So, again, it wasn't a knock. But ultimately, we saw Ricky Collins leave, and now Colin Hurley's still here, but they brought in Van Buren. So the thought is Nuss is the quarterback in 2025. You have a quarterback battle in 26 with Van Buren and Hurley, but what if Hurley doesn't win that job? Does he go transfer? Could. I mean, not that I know anything about what his plans are, but I'm just look at the circumstantial evidence around college football. It says that's what it is. So my point is, you can never miss a year. All that to say, the big picture, top of the funnel, you can never miss a year of adding a quarterback. You can't. And it's not to say that the guy you add is going to stay for 4 or 5 years like Garrett Nussmeier has. It's just to say that you have got to always be thinking about your numbers at the most important position on the field. And you lost 2 this year, so you had to add 2. You added Michael Van Buren, and now you've added Emil Picarella. Again, you don't want Emil Picarella to have to play as a freshman or even as a redshirt freshman in 2026. But if this is truly his dream, then there is a path where this guy who has the physical, the measurables, the ability, could stick around, could stay, and could eventually work his way into his opportunity. It's absolutely worth welcoming him as a preferred walk-on to commit to the program and to see what he may be able to come down the line. So Emil Picarella, a guy we told you about a month ago or so, as maybe a name to watch if you were looking to add a quarterback, did in fact commit to LSU as a preferred walk-on on Tuesday, and so he'll be with LSU for the 2025 season. We'll see what that future may hold. So the Tigers do in fact get a quarterback. It's a local kid there, and Emil Picarella. It's an interesting story in his own right. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here from Radio Row. Our coverage all week presented by Low Bears. Remember, drink Evermore. Drink plenty of it. Stay hydrated. You know when it's cold outside, we forget to drink water because we're not maybe parched. But you should always stay hydrated, and you get a better form of hydration with Evermore. EVAMOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. Remember, you can find Evermore at great local retailers and online at Evermore.com. You can order in bulk online. They'll ship to you. Or if you want to find a retailer near you that carries Evermore, go to Evermore.com. EVAMOR, Evermore.com. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're not going to final break here of hour number 2. Tuesday shows powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. When we come back, Muse will have Tigers in the Pros, and then we'll kick off hour number 3, our third hour from Radio Row, straight ahead here on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, we want to remind you about our friends over at Clegg's Nursery. Super Bowl Sunday, of course, coming up Sunday. Saturday, no football. So maybe you're finding your way back into the garden again, back into doing your yard work again right now without football eating up your day all day Saturday and Sunday. Great opportunity to get by Clegg's Nursery, any of the 4 locations, Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. We tell you every day, to buy local and shop local. You can get by Clegg's. If you had issues with your lawn, your garden, your plants, your flowers after the freeze and the snow a couple of weeks ago, Clegg's can certainly help. Just get on by and ask any of their horticulturists what they can help you with. But listen, it's time to just get into that garden and just plant something. Not sure what to plant? They have the answers. Get by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. They've been doing it for more than 60 years. So be sure to tell them that Matt sent you in when you go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low Bearish Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Man, been a jam-packed show already. Big shout-out, Mike Haas, voice of the Saints, was here. Former Tiger and Ram Michael Brockers was here. We did visit with Shea Dixon. I mean, we kicked off hour number 2, surprisingly. Former Tigers John battled Frank Herron. Frank Herron won a Super Bowl with the Patriots back in 2018, that after the Nola no call. Was here. So what a jam-packed show. You miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. You can get it podcast, YouTube, whatever your flavor. Just search AFR LSU or AFR Saints. Or you want the full show, search After Further Review. Okay, wrapping up hour number 2, Muso Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Earlier on Tuesday, Astros GM Dana Brown spoke at a media luncheon and was kind of running through some things about the offseason. Mentioned Alex Bregman, but in the way he mentioned him, doesn't sound very positive for Houston. Going through the offseason, GM Dana Brown stated twice, quote, "We're missing out on Alex Bregman." He had a breakaway session with the media after his regular speech at the luncheon and was asked to follow up on that. Kind of backtracked a little bit, said there's still internal discussions about Bregman, but he would like to leave it at that. It is worth noting the 6-year, $156 million offer on the table from Houston to Bregman is still the largest reported offer out there for the former Tiger. So we'll see. But right now, it does kind of seem like the Astros reunion that had been rumored here lately is getting further and further away once again. On the hardwood last night in the NBA, Tari Eason gets a start for the Houston Rockets. 34 minutes, dropped 12 points, snagged 6 rebounds, and also blocked 3 shots. The Rockets did fall to the Knicks. And then for the Timberwolves, Naz Reid gets a start as well. Played 40 minutes and dropped 30 from Naz. 12 of 19, 5 of 9 from 3. He would add 5 rebounds, and he also, with a couple blocks on the night as well. The Timberwolves lost that one to the Kings. That is Tigers in the pros.
Should have stayed. There we go. Made it happen. Hey, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Y'all, Valentine's week from Friday. What are we talking, 7, 8, 9, 10 days away, something like that? Don't screw it up if you just had that pit in your stomach because you realized, oh, my God, that's actually 10 days away. It's easy. It's easy. Just go to Lee Michaels or go to their website. Look, there's 9 locations, 2 in Baton Rouge, 1 not far from us here in New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, online, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. For Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, no matter your budget, you'll always get the Lee Michaels experience. It's one of the things. Don't be intimidated. You got to trust me on this. Don't be intimidated. They're amazing at making you comfortable, creating that comfortable buying atmosphere. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, y'all, been a really good show so far. Thrilled about this, man. We're going to go to break. Sports Center will get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, Pro Football Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher is going to join us. We'll actually be hanging out with Brian Urlacher. I mean, not one-on-one, but at a really cool event coming up on Thursday. So we'll talk some NFL, some Super Bowl with Brian Urlacher, and we'll talk about the event coming up Thursday in New Orleans. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if you want to see 2020, time is now. Call the Williamson Eye Center. Of course, at the Williamson Eye Center, eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. They've got eye centers all over the greater Baton Rouge area, the newest in the river parishes down in Lutcher. But no matter where you are, if it's Lutcher, if it's Baton Rouge, if it's Zachary, they've got a Williamson Eye Center location near you. If you need that eye exam, they can do it. If you wear contacts or glasses and you need to get that prescription renewed or you need to buy your contacts or glasses, they can help you there. And, of course, if you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, which I highly recommend, the Williamson Eye Center can help. It starts with that free consultation. This is not a sales tactic. It's not a sales pitch. It's just you're going to talk to Kyle, who manages the consultations, and you're just going to get some information to see if you want to proceed. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Go to williamsoneye.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. When Luka Doncic was told over the weekend he'd been traded by the Mavericks to the Lakers, he wondered if it was April Fool's Day, not the beginning of February. The 25-year-old superstar admitted today he was shocked by the news and called it a hard moment for him. Now he's excited about what's next. Equally stunned by the news initially, now looking forward to his next chapter, Anthony Davis, now in Dallas, where he thinks they have a great chance to win a championship. They won't contend this season, though, predicts Anscape senior writer David Dennis Jr.
The Mavs could only make some noise if a whole bunch of things go right for them, including the health of AD and the health of Kyrie through these next 30 games, and we just traditionally do not see that. I'm just not buying the Dallas Mavericks as a team that can contend with OKC, with Denver, with Houston.
76ers big man Joel Embiid, out the last 15 games with knee and foot injuries, will return tonight against Dallas. NFL Andy Reid confirmed today he'll return as Chiefs head coach in 2025, his 13th with Kansas City.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right. Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Busy 5 o'clock hour straight ahead, and glad to have you aboard with us here. Very pleased to welcome on a guy who really, if you're a football fan, and if you're listening to this show on Super Bowl week, then you're a football fan, doesn't need any introduction. But the guy's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, and he's going to be in New Orleans later this week. He and Ron Jaworski, Ditka and Jaws, Cigars with the Stars. It is Pro Football Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Brian, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm glad to be on. I'm doing well. I am here in sunny Arizona until I come there. I heard the weather's nice there in New Orleans too, though. Actually,
bro. I mean, we're talking temps in the low 80s right now. I
didn't think it was gonna be that warm,
dude. So 2 weeks ago, Brian, it snowed. I don't know if you paid attention, but it snowed here, like a legit.
I saw that, yeah.
And that is a like a once in, I mean, it was like a once in a 100 year, like the last time we had that much snow was like the 1880s or something like that. So it snows, and 2 weeks later it's 80 degrees just in time for the Super Bowl. So come on down, brother. Golf weather's great. It's going to be fantastic down here, man.
Yeah, I got invited to play in a couple golf tournaments. I don't have time, but I didn't realize the weather was going to be that warm. That's great.
Man, you went through the Super Bowl experience as a player with the Bears. At the Saints' expense. I was actually at the game at Soldier Field in 2000, I guess January of 2007. But man, when you think back on that experience from a player's perspective, what are maybe some of the challenges? I mean, it's always the circus atmosphere and everything, but as you think back on it, what are the things like that stand out to you?
I mean, just trying to stay focused on what the task at hand is the game at the end of the week, right? Because there's so many distractions once you get to the destination city where the game is. Your whole schedule changes because you're going from a hotel to practice instead of your home. You're on a bus. It's just the whole week is different, as it should be. It's a huge game, so it should be, but it's just a whole big different deal. I guess that's probably, if you have to give an advantage, it might be to the Chiefs because they're used to it. Although I know the Eagles went a couple years ago as well, but I mean, it's just a whole different week timing wise, and just your whole routine is different.
I mean, do you think just the game itself? Because honestly, Brian, it's weird, man. There's so much going on around this event, as you know. Like we haven't talked really at all about the game, but I'd be remiss if I didn't get your thoughts. Like, do you think Philly is equipped to limit this Kansas City Chiefs offense with arguably the greatest quarterback ever?
It's going to be tough. Patrick Mahomes is amazing, but Andy Reid calling the plays, I don't think he gets a lot of credit, as he should, but not enough. That dude's unbelievable. You see the plays they run, and they're always in good positions. I feel like he gets the best matchups for his players, whoever it may be, whether it's Kelsey or the running backs or a receiver. He always gets the guys the best matchups, I feel like, and Mahomes is unbelievable. He's done great things his whole career. But the defense for Philly's good. They got their hands – KC's got their hands full with that defense. So, Philly's strong up front. So it'll be interesting to see who comes ahead in that part of the game.
Does this game remind you at all of the Super Bowl that you all played in against the Colts, like where you had that challenge with Peyton Manning and that great offense?
Oh, man. I don't even remember. They were trying to pay, but the game was so different back then, I feel like, because, now the game is so pass-happy. Everyone wants to throw a little short passes out there. And Peyton was a big, that was when they were checking out the line of scrimmage every play. He was going there, Omaha, checking everything. So it's hard to compare the two teams, but, two great quarterbacks, obviously. Hurts is pretty damn good himself, by the way.
Yeah, man.
And there's a guy named Saquon Barkley on another team, too. It's pretty good as well.
Salty, dude. Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher is visiting with us. This Thursday, it's Ditka and Jaws, Cigars with the Stars. Ron Jaworski, Brian Urlacher, awesome fundraiser for two great charities. It'll be at Generations Hall. Dude, Brian, I was looking at the guest list for this thing. There's got to be 100 former NFL players on this list. Can you walk us through a little bit of how y'all put this together and how you got involved?
Jerry, it's amazing what they do with the money. Most importantly, I got involved because of Coach Ditka. He hasn't been able to attend the last couple of years, so that's when they've asked me to kind of not take his spot, but just stand in there for him because he can't be there. So it's now hosted by me and Jaws, and it goes to the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. For half goes to that, and the other half goes to Jaws charity, which I think for a kids charity back in Philly, which is amazing. But yeah, they raise money for former players, not former players like me and the more current guys, but the older guys like 60s, 70s, early 80s, when they didn't have quite as good of benefits as we do now, as the players do now. But the first time we did was here in Arizona, I think. Is that right? The first one we hosted was here in Arizona. Unbelievable. Like 1,000 people there. I had never been to one of the parties before, so I didn't know what to expect. There's a ton of ex-football players there, and a lot of current guys came out as well, which is really cool. But when I played, I didn't know about this. I didn't know Coach Ditka did this. So I think that it's starting to get out there to the players now what's going on, and they're starting to support it a little bit more.
Brian, I'm looking at this list, and just the ones listed, I think, has 14 Hall of Famers on it. Like literally, it's over 100. There's over 100 players on this name. It's on this thing. It's wild. So it's for those who are interested. It's this Thursday, Generations Hall, 8 to midnight. Tickets are face is $500, but if you use the code NOLA100, you get a 20% off. So it'll be $400. So NOLA, N-O-L-A, NOLA 100 is the code. And you can go to DitkaJawsCigars.com to get your tickets. DitkaJawsCigars.com. You get to meet Brian Urlacher. Brian, is it when you go to an event like this, you'll have a ton of players. I'm sure there'll be just a ton of guys and ladies that love football and want to talk to former players. Like, how accessible is it? Like, if someone comes up to you, they tell them, hey, you'll have a toast.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's not like any roped off sections or anything like that. We're just hanging. Everyone there. At least there's no roped off section that I've seen. A couple I've been to. We've been exposed as we've been in the open. It's actually kind of fun getting to talk to people we normally wouldn't get a chance to meet. And it's cool seeing some of the older guys come back as well. Like you said, 14 Hall of Famers. There's just a ton of people there. A ton of like I said, current, former players. Some coaches came last year as well. It's a really great, fun event, and you get free cigars if you like to smoke cigars. You get to go outside and smoke cigars. Amazing cigar maker. They make the cigars right there in front of you if you want. And a lot of people. I don't do it personally, but a lot of guys like to do that on the back patio there wherever we're going.
Yeah, man. We host a weekly LSU post game football show at a cigar bar up in Baton Rouge.
There you go.
So yeah. So no, this
nice.
you are in my alley, man. Whiskey and cigars. Yes, I am 100% in. That is my language. Did you get to watch the Prince halftime show in your Super Bowl?
No, we were in the obviously we're in the locker room, so I didn't get to see any of it, man. I heard great things about it though. My daughter, all my family was there, but we didn't get. He sang "Purple Rain" in the rain.
I know, dude. It was so good.
I didn't get to see it.
Have you it's hard to say this, Brian, but that's been almost 20 years now. Have you not gone back and watched that? I can understand not wanting to go back and watch the game. If you're playing the Super Bowl and you come up short, but you didn't go back and watch the Prince halftime show?
I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing, honestly. I just don't normally sit around and watch halftime shows, to be honest. But if I was going to watch one, that would be the one I'd watch. But we heard a little bit of it in the locker room, but we couldn't. It's hard to decipher what's really going on because you're trying to listen to your adjustments and what's going on.
Hey, man, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask a couple more football questions. Obviously, your Bears. Look, they're getting Ben Johnson in. I was a guy certainly the Saints wanted to talk to, couldn't. They got Caleb Williams up there. Is there a reason to be optimistic about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson there in Chicago?
I think so. I was optimistic about Caleb even before they hired Ben Johnson, who I'm a big fan of. You saw what he did in Detroit. He's amazing. He puts a lot of points on the board. But I thought Caleb had a strong rookie year. He didn't have a lot of time to throw the football. He'll get better. He'll learn to throw the football away. Dude's athletic, makes good. I don't think he threw 6 or 7 picks this year. He started every game, didn't turn the ball over a lot, and they'll get better up front. I think just knowing Ben Johnson, how he understands the importance of running the football and getting rid of the football quick, he'll make it easier for Caleb to do that. Defensively, they've always been good. I think Dennis Allen, right? They're in New Orleans.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a great hire as well. A former head coach in the NFL, and his defenses usually do pretty well. So I think he's got good players there in Chicago. So I'm optimistic about the whole situation.
Yeah, man. With Dennis Allen, I've kind of coined the phrase like he's a lieutenant, not a general. He's an amazing defensive coordinator. Probably not the right guy to be a head coach, but that's a great hire for a DC in Chicago. If I asked you candidly if they could do it over, would you take Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams?
No, I'll tell you why. It's all about the situation you're in. You look where he went to. Jaden went to Cliff Kingsbury, right? And then you look at Bo Nix went to Sean Payton. Look at the situations they went to, head coaching-wise or OC-wise. They had some people who knew how to develop them. They're great players, but I think Caleb is going to be just as good, if not better, when it's all said and done. He's not off to a terrible start, and I think once Ben Johnson gets him in his system and helps him out, he'll be just as good, if not better.
He is a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Brian Urlacher. Who wins, Chiefs or Eagles on Sunday?
Oh, man. I'm riding with the Chiefs. I just love Andy Reid. I've picked them. It's hard to beat. Mahomes is the greatest right now in the game, but mostly I picked them because of Andy Reid and Coach Spags gets them guys ready to play on defense as well.
All right, last one. If you played in this era of college football,
jeez,
you know where I'm going, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead. I'd love to hear it. Yep.
Okay, so like
NIL money.
Absolutely. Like, would you 1 year portal? Because let's be very clear. Your jersey is retired at New Mexico. I don't even think arguably you are the greatest player in the history of the program. You are a top 10 pick. Mm-hmm. You could run it back, play one more season, transfer out of New Mexico, go play somewhere, cash a 7-figure check. Would you do it?
It'd be really hard to say no to that type of money at 21 21, 20 years old. You know, the money these kids are made. The guy from Georgia's got what, $4 million from Miami.
Right.
It was going to go to the draft, and he changed his mind because he got that offer from Miami. I don't blame him, by the way.
Yep.
But it would be really hard to turn down that type of money. And if you got to figure, if you're getting that type of money, you're going to go to a big program, right? You're going to have a chance to be showcased a little more than maybe where I was at. I wouldn't change my college career at all, but it'd be hard to say no to that money.
Yeah, bro. It worked out for you okay, man. I mean, it's just,
yeah, for sure. I did okay.
It's it is so wild to look at this era and just how it shapes people's decisions. But I don't know, man. Maybe
our sons are freshmen at Notre Dame last year. You know, so he's going through it right now with all the NIL stuff. And luckily at Notre Dame, you know, they had a great season, so most guys want to stay there.
Man, dude, I'm gonna be respectful of your time, and I'm gonna let you go, man. I could ask you 100 more questions, but maybe I'll find you on Thursday, and I'll ask a follow-up about Notre Dame. Pro Football Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher. Thank you for the time, man. We appreciate you very much.
See you, Matt. Take care, bro.
Absolutely. That's Brian Urlacher. Again, the event is Ditka and Jaws Cigars with the Stars. So as he explained there, it was Mike Ditka, Ron Jaworski. Coach Ditka maybe not up to being at the live event the past couple of seasons, so they've asked Urlacher to fill in there. I mean, this is the first time I've ever talked to Brian Urlacher. Sounds like an awesome dude. I mean, actually, the folks with the event were, you know, they were asking, you know, if we'd have one of them on to promote it. I said, well, absolutely. Yeah. They're like, well, here's Brian's cell. Just text or call him. He said that's the best way to get in touch with him. I mean, generally, that's not how that works. Generally, people don't like to give out their numbers, so there's a, you know, like a booking assistant or something who schedules that stuff, and they want to call you. But he was, I mean, we were texting today. He's like, yeah, just call me. I'm playing golf, and I got to go to the dentist. Just call me. I'll be in the car. I mean, yes, sir, Mr. Urlacher. Great dude. Anyway, hey, can we tweet this and share it on our socials as well on Facebook, the graphics? I'll send them to you, Alondra, and maybe grab that link. It's Ditka. I'll send them to you. It's DitkaJawsCigars.com. The link is on the website at 1045ESPN.com. It should be up also at LouisianaSports.net. But we'll go ahead and share it on the ESPN socials as well at 1045ESPN if you want the link. But again, it's DitkaJawsCigars.com. If you use the code NOLA100, NOLA100, you'll get $100 off your ticket. So a $500 ticket would be $400. I mean, you're talking 8 to midnight with Pro Football Hall of Famers everywhere at Generations Hall, hanging out with Brian Urlacher, whiskey, cigars. Yeah, that sounds like a fun night. I'll be there. Okay, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll continue from radio. Our coverage all week is presented by L'Auberge Baton Rouge.
AFR.
Hey, we're brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com, complete employer solutions. I tell you all the time, of course, about the skilled blue-collar labor that they can help find, and that really is their specialty. But they also have a professional placement division. So you're a business owner, and you're looking for help with essentially any type of office job, and you're having trouble finding the right people. Glow Resources, they can help. I mean, when you think about it as a hirer, how many interviews do you do over the course of a year? Job interviews. Do you interview prospective candidates? I mean, at Glow Resources, they do on average 50 a day. So you're talking 15,000 interviews they conduct over the course of the year. They know the questions to ask to get the right people. It's Glow Resources. GLO. glowresources.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low Bearish Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Yeah, you don't have time to think about all that. You're focused in on the job at hand here, and that's playing against a great Eagles team.
Andy Reid was asked if he was given any thought to a three-peat. Travis Kelce was asked the same on opening night for the NFL Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is going to be our biggest test yet. They got a lot of great players, but the biggest thing is they play great together. You can see their communication. You can see the accountability that they have, especially in the secondary. It's not going to make my job any easier, especially with those guys up front trying to get to Pat. So it's going to be a tough test, but I think right now we got a great game plan together, and we're going to keep sharpening our tools.
If in fact the Chiefs do win the Super Bowl, the NFL will be selling merch with the phrase three-peat. You might think, oh, well, that's obvious. Why wouldn't they do that? Well, because Pat Riley, yes, that Pat Riley, actually trademarked the phrase three-peat. But apparently the NFL has licensed the phrase with Riley's trademark through his trademark attorney, John Aldrich, who told, this is CLLCT, I'm not sure which site that is, forgive me for that, but that there is an agreement in place with the NFL to use three-peat if it happens. Aldrich would not comment on what percentage royalty that Pat Riley would make, but he did say that plans are, as has been in the past, to earmark it for the Pat Riley Family Foundation. So if, in fact, the Kansas City Chiefs win, you will see three-peat merchandise. Licensees apparently will be Fanatics, New Era, Wilson, Rydell, and Windcraft. And the products will be sold exclusively at Chiefs retail outlets. So if you're not familiar with the story, so Pat Riley first filed for the three-peat trademark at the start of the 88-89 season after the Lakers won consecutive championships. So in advance of a possible third consecutive championship, he filed for the trademark on the phrase three-peat. Well, he never cashed in because the Pistons beat the Lakers in the final that year, so he never three-peated. Well, we know the Bulls did it twice, and Riley got paid when the Bulls licensed the phrase from Pat Riley for their two three-peats as well. So in any event, I'm trying to see, let's see. I'm trying to see the percentage. Licensees usually pay 10 to 15% royalty. Anyway, they're just having some fun with numbers. But for whatever it's worth, if in fact the Chiefs do three-peat, Pat Riley will get paid, and there's probably nobody cheering bigger for the Chiefs this weekend than Pat Riley, all because of that. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Tuesday show is powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. You can always visit sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. We're at Radio Row here for Super Bowl 59. Today was a dramatically busier day than yesterday. It was interesting as we kind of make our way through this. Monday was kind of a very slow, calm day. Today, from jump, I mean, it was bustling all day. But as we get toward the evening, things thin out. I think I mentioned this yesterday on the show. I'm not positive I did, but I was talking yesterday to one of the members of the host committee, and he told me there are an estimated, I think he said 460 parties in the city this week related to the Super Bowl, which is an insane number when you think about it. And it may not, I don't know, maybe it does sound like it, maybe it doesn't sound like it. But when I started to think about it, I mean, of course there's going to be bars and restaurants and everything open, but like specific parties, when you think about like, I know like Bud Light, for example, is having Post Malone in one day. Chris Stapleton's doing a small venue concert one day. And there's big scale things like that. And then there's other publications that are going to have their party. Like I know Barstool has an event tonight that they're doing, like a trivia type night or something like that. So, I mean, there's all different types of things. We're talking about over 400 of them this week around the city of New Orleans. But city's popping. This is what New Orleans is best at, is hosting major events. There's no better city in the world to have a major event. It's what New Orleans does, and putting on a great show so far through the first couple of days. All right, it's After Further Review. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Bumped across this earlier today, and it was interesting. Mike Florio over at Pro Football Talk posed the question of whether or not the Saints might hire John Gruden as their offensive coordinator. There was some thought that Gruden's name might come up for a head coaching position, in particular in New Orleans. Remember, the Saints did have Gruden in New Orleans in part of their offseason. This guy who worked very well with Derek Carr and actually was the head coach in Las Vegas when Carr had the best season of his career there in that transition from Oakland to Las Vegas. Had the best season of his career. So there was some thought, listen, if you're the Saints and you've invested $100 million guaranteed into Derek Carr, how do you maximize him? What about bringing in the coach who worked well with him? Makes sense. And Florio said there's reason to keep an eye on Kellen Moore being hired and maybe hiring Gruden to run the offense. The one thing, there's one thing that makes sense and there's one thing that doesn't. The one thing that makes sense there, obviously, is the relationship with Derek Carr. The fact that John Gruden, in that second stint with the Raiders, coached Derek Carr. And as we mentioned, it was Carr's most successful years of his career was when he had John Gruden there. That was from the second stint was 2018 through 2021. So he was there during the transition from Oakland to Las Vegas. So that part of it makes sense. If you invested in Derek Carr, you want to maximize him, you could bring in an offensive coordinator that knows him well, that he has familiarity, maybe some of the verbiage. However, we played this earlier. We'll bring it back. Kellen Moore, when he met with reporters on Monday at the opening night of the NFL, of the Super Bowl, Kellen Moore was asked point blank if he anticipated calling plays as a head coach. Not necessarily saying the Saints specifically, but if when he becomes a head coach, would he intend to call plays? Here's what Kellen Moore said.
Certainly, I would view it that way. Yeah, I'd love to call plays. Certainly, it's a passion of mine. It's something that has gotten me to this place, and so certainly, you'd hate to stop doing what you love, and as you go through this journey.
So, I look at it as to say, and there's a couple of big hang-ups potentially with John Gruden. One is you have the very ugly. I don't know if we'd call it perception or reality around John Gruden with the emails that went public that caused him to get fired from the Raiders. He has started to sort of creep back into football. We know he's working presently with Barstool, and he, again, was with the Saints in the preseason this year. And it was, I'm not going to say warmly received, but you didn't have tremendous backlash. So maybe there's a path back into the game for John Gruden. But the other part of it is that if Kellen Moore wants to call plays, would John Gruden go to work as an offensive coordinator in a spot where he wasn't calling plays? Now, maybe if that was the opportunity that he had just to get back into football, he might take it. But feels a little far-fetched. Then again, I don't know where another situation would be better for him to get back into football if he wanted to. But I'll remind you this, too, because we do get asked about Gruden a lot. And sometimes I think, and listen, I want to be respectful because John Gruden is a guy that has won a Super Bowl, that has coached, since starting as a grad assistant at the University of Tennessee in 1986 all the way up through his last year with the Raiders in 2021. He has coached at Tennessee and college at Southeast Missouri State, Pacific, the 49ers, Pittsburgh, the University of Pittsburgh, the Packers, as we know, the Eagles, then becoming a head coach with the Raiders, winning a Super Bowl with the Bucs, then back with the Raiders after a long TV career. He is 117 and 112 as a head coach. He's coached in nine postseason games as well. He's a guy that has coached for a long time and knows way more about football than I'll ever know, and we all know that, and I think you could do far worse. I do think, however, and, hat tip to Mike Detillier, because he was the one who would often say this to me whenever we'd have Mike D on the show all the time, every Thursday, and I miss having Mike D on the show every Thursday. But there was this narrative and belief about Gruden as sort of the quarterback whisperer, and Mike pointed out, quarterback whisperer, where's the proof of that? And kind of when you look, his years in Oakland, he went 8-8, 8-8, and 12-4. They lost the AFC Championship game. A year later, they went 10-6, lost the championship game in the snow to New England. That was the Tuck Rule game. And then the next year, he went to Tampa. They were 12-4, won the Super Bowl. But after that Super Bowl year, 7-9, 5-11, 11-5, lost in the wild card round, 4-12. 9-7, lost in the wild card round. 9-7, missed the playoffs. In Tampa, he was 2 games over 500 at 57-55. But after that 12-win season, his first year where they won the Super Bowl, he only had 2 winning seasons the rest of the way. 11-5 in 2005, 9-7 in 2007, and both times they lost the wild card game. So all that to say, I'm not trying to completely discredit John Gruden. I think he won a Super Bowl. He's a really good coach and did well with Derek Carr, and there's a lot of things to like there. I just think sometimes there's a perception of John Gruden as this slam dunk offensive savant and like a can't miss type deal, and I just don't know that perception matches reality there. I wonder if you're not better off with a new-aged, younger play caller like Kellen Moore or Joe Brady or Ben Johnson, in the same way that I think Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco or Sean McVay in Los Angeles. Mike McDaniel in Miami, although that looks like that might end unceremoniously. But when they were rolling, the offense was really good. I guess it's just to say that the younger, the fad in the NFL is the younger, dynamic play caller off that McVay Shanahan tree, and I think I'd rather that, because the way I keep looking at it is just, where is your ceiling? If your goal is to win championships, I'm not suggesting the Saints are even close to that, but that has to be the goal with the decisions you're making. How do we build toward winning a championship? And if that is your goal, then you're thinking of it in terms of, okay, well, it was why I didn't like the Derek Carr signing from the day they signed him. My point was, okay, with Derek Carr, you have a higher floor but a lower ceiling. Like, we have a large enough sample to know what Derek Carr is, and he's good enough to not be awful, but you're also not going to win a championship. Like, we know that about Derek Carr. So then I think you could apply that similarly to coaches that have a large sample size. And I think some of that probably would be true with Gruden, whereas there was an unknown with someone like Kellen Moore, these young offensive minds. Could you hire the next Sean McVay? Could you hire the next Kyle Shanahan? Maybe. And if that's the case, then you're thrilled and you're set with a really bright offensive mind for the next decade plus. Interesting thought there about Gruden, but we'll continue to follow it this week. All right, it is After Further Review. We're here from Radio Row, presented by L'Auberge Baton Rouge. We appreciate them for their sponsorship here of all of our shows with, of course, T-Bob and Jake in the morning, the Hunt Palmer Show, and then AFR here, driving you home from 3 to 6 p.m. from Radio Row. Tomorrow will be a really big day. We'll run through all that for you as well. We'll knock out a quick break. Otter's going to be here in 15 minutes for a little bit of Otter Locks, but we still got more to do. So stick around here from Radio Row. It is AFR.
AFR.
As we roll along here from, I keep saying Radio Row, from Media Row at Super Bowl 59. Remind you to get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. We talk a lot about, when we say accident, yes, car accidents, big truck wrecks. I think those are the most common we think of, but there's also things like workers' comp claims and maritime accidents and many different types, slips and falls. Like, if you've been injured and it's not your fault, don't go it alone. Get representation. Get what is entitled to you to make sure you get back to your quality of life. It's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon and his team do that and have done that now for more than 30 years. So you can always give them a buzz, 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low Bearish Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
We'll get to Otter Locks here in about 10 minutes from right now. Brian Kelly's on-field staff is complete. We know they added Alex Atkins. But they've continued having more changes in the support staff roles as well. And that continued actually late Monday with the addition of the reports of the addition of 2 more analysts. One of them is a well-known name to football fans in Louisiana, Tim Rattay, who was a record-setting quarterback at Louisiana Tech, played in the NFL, primarily for the 49ers, and has been coaching since his playing career ended. Tim Rattay's joining the staff as an offensive analyst, and they also added Noah Joseph, who's coached defense for 25 years, but most recently was the general manager at Purdue for 2 years, had just in December, like 6 weeks ago, taken the job as the GM at East Carolina, and now 6 weeks into that job, he's joining LSU as a defensive analyst. But there's even more news today as J.R. Belton, Matt Zenitz is reporting J.R. Belton is being assigned within the LSU football program as the new director of operations. You might remember Jazz Smith. We talked about Wilson Alexander was the one that reported it, but Jazz Smith not returning. There wasn't any word on if she was fired, if she was just the position was terminated, whatever the case may be. If something happened, and I don't have any information there. I just know from Wilson's report that Jazz is not returning, and there were members of her staff that are also not back. I want to talk about Rattay and Joseph in their on-field roles here in just a quick second, like the football component. But I think one thing is very clear is when you look at J.R. Belton, who is fantastic, by the way, like one of the most unheralded members of LSU support staff. Like what LSU has done in recruiting and roster building, a massive, massive part of that is J.R. Belton. And Brian Kelly has mentioned him by name. So effectively what you're doing there is you're not eliminating the position, you're just distributing those roles internally. And a big part of that, obviously, is the bottom line. I'll remind you again, as we have talked for many, many, many months here about revenue share and what it might mean for NIL and staffs and how different athletic departments are going to function. Listen, next year, in the fiscal year, LSU is going to share $20.5 million of its revenue with its student athletes. So to be able to do that, you got to do two things: raise more money or cut spending. Like, it's non-negotiable that you're going to spend the maximum amount allowed in revenue share. Like, you're LSU. You have to do this. And the majority of it's going to go to football. So where, obviously, we're anticipating expanded SEC, TV deal, revenue will go up each year, we're anticipating. But where can you tighten the belt a little bit? And so I think when you look at a lot of the support staff, look, Beth Rex was Brian Kelly's chief of staff. She left the program. She's not replaced. Austin Thomas is doing that role. Jazz Smith, director of operations, gone. Now that's J.R. Belton taking on those responsibilities. There were other support staff members we know, like Nick Brissett and Jacoby Stevens. They're very clearly a component. I'm not saying it's the component. It is a component, is tightening the belt financially for LSU in advance of revenue share. That much is very abundantly clear to me. And I've spoken to folks like within the LSU athletic department, and there will be a time whenever the House settlement is done and they are more able and free to talk about all this, that they will. I've been assured of that. But they just can't yet until all that is done, and I respect that. But it is also just a very obvious thing that's happening right now, is you are seeing the support staff pared down where it can be. The flip side of it is, look at what's happening with the coaching support staff. That is where they are unapologetically adding when they can. Listen, last week, look, you've already added Ahmad Anan, the special teams assistant from that you hired from Grambling. When you lost Bob Diaco and you weren't hiring an on-field special teams coordinator, you had to have somebody that can manage your special teams. Well, that guy's going to do it. So you had to add someone there. Remember, it used to be that analysts could only work with the coaches. They couldn't work on the field. Now analysts can coach on the field. They can wear headsets on game day, be on the sideline. They can talk to the players. Like, analysts are coaches now. The only difference is the full-time staff members can go recruit off campus. So you're taking much less money, but you're still having the opportunity to remain in a Power 5 program, hopefully as a jumping off point to another big-time job. So you've got your special teams coordinator. They had an opportunity to add Lance Guidry. Remember, Lance Guidry is making $3 million from his buyout at Miami, so you could pay him an analyst salary, which is most of the analyst salary are less than $100K. So you could pay him less and get a guy that's been a head coach and a coordinator a lot of different places. So now you look at what they've added here. Tim Rattay, when he finished his career at Louisiana Tech, held NCAA records for yards from scrimmage and passing touchdowns, like that, passing yards per game. He was amazing in his years at Louisiana Tech. Went to the NFL, and as soon as his NFL career ended, Rattay ended up coaching with the Las Vegas Locomotives, with the UFL, which was the last team he played for. And then he went and coached for almost a decade at Louisiana Tech. Well, who was an assistant at Louisiana Tech overlapping there? Joe Sloan. So Sloan and Rattay worked together at Louisiana Tech, and then Rattay went to the NFL for 1 year with Washington, and the last 5 years has been at Oklahoma State as the quarterback's coach. He worked with Spencer Sanders. He worked with Alan Bowman. This year was a disaster in Stillwater, and so he has an opportunity to come to Baton Rouge as the quarterback's coach. Well, as an offensive analyst who will work with the quarterbacks, but someone who Joe Sloan trusts and respects. And remember, this is a all-in year for LSU, and you have a fifth-year senior in Garrett Nussmeier, who now you have the benefit of Joe Sloan, of a guy like Tim Rattay, who's played in the NFL, who's coached quarterbacks at the Power 5 level. I understand Nussmeier's dad is an NFL quarterbacks coach, but all of this, another set of eyes to help Garrett Nussmeier, is a huge benefit for this season. And then when you look at Noah Joseph for 25 years has primarily been a defensive coach. He was a co-defensive coordinator at Indiana. He was an analyst for a couple seasons at Missouri. He has been all over during his career. Purdue, North Texas, Eastern Illinois, Montana State. He's had a long career, and primarily he's worked with safeties. So when I look at the LSU staff, it makes a lot of sense that the one spot on your defense where maybe you're not super convinced with the progress is what happened in the safety room this past year. You've got Jake Olson there, tons of ties to Louisiana, good recruiter, has been a good coach as well, but it would stand to reason that, like, whereas I was told you're adding Lance Guidry to work with the star linebackers, i.e. Harold Perkins, maybe you're adding here with Noah Joseph to work with your safeties. Of course, you got Tamarcus Cooley coming in, and you're going to expect a big jump this year with Jordan Gilbert and then some of the young guys as well, like Deshaun Spears, to see how they may be able to continue to progress here defensively at LSU. So, again, you're seeing that support staff, the off-field support staff, trimmed, and I think that is directly correlated to rev share. But where Brian Kelly needs to add assistants and can add assistants and analysts by helping them on the field, they're continuing to put those resources there. So a few new additions and changes to the support staff, with J.R. Belton becoming the director of ops, and LSU adding both Tim Rattay and Noah Joseph as analysts. Okay, y'all, it is after further review. We got Otter Locks coming up here, so we'll find out from Jimmy what we're betting on tonight. We'll knock out our final break of the show and come back here from Radio Row. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. It is AFR from Radio Row, courtesy of LeBear's Baton Rouge.
After further review.
Quick reminder about our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. You know, I always encourage you to go read the 5-star reviews, because at River City's 1 Hour Air, they've got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor. How about Dusty Kling, who sent this review just a few days ago? Gannon, his tech, did an excellent job diagnosing the problem and advising in solutions. Chavez Ford, Cody was very professional, friendly, and thorough in explaining all the issues with my air conditioner. He took the time to make sure I understood everything and provided excellent service. 5-star Google reviews galore. You want to feel good about the company you're calling, who you're welcoming into your home to take care of anything you got going on with your HVAC? It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages, and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low Bearish Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. Get to Jimmy here in just a quick second for Otter Locks. Quick reminder about our friends over at Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Remember, name brand tires at wholesale prices, and ask about the Shaw Bills credit card. It's a credit card for your car, VIP pricing, 0% for 6 months. It's Shaw Bills, ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. All right, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
What's going on, Matt?
Another day, another dollar, man. Wrapping up here, day 2 from Media Row. Today was much busier than yesterday. It was popping today, man.
Yeah, a lot more people. It'll do that. Another little bump up tomorrow as well. So, and it should be pretty good through the week. So, how many of you guys down at Radio Row?
You mean from the station, or you mean just like all the different stations here?
No, different stations.
Oh
across
God,
the country.
Otter. Let me see. I'm looking at the number tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 8 wide, and then probably a couple hundred. Probably. What's that?
Okay.
Oh, Kate's telling me 160 on Radio Row.
160.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
A lot of new media, man. Got a lot of podcasts, a lot of digital media that have booths as well. So not just terrestrial radio. So it's been fascinating to see, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, man, let's get to it. We got 4 picks today. St. John's off to a good start. Early fell behind 3-0 with a 10-0 run. They lead by 4 early on against Marquette. We put that one out on the website earlier today at -2.5. USC, Mr. Musselman, Eric Musselman, in his new school in Southern California. They make the trip to Chicago to take on Northwestern tonight. Catching +3 in this one. USC with a nice win, gate to wire against Michigan State, who is as hot as anybody can be. Sure. And USC's kind of getting hot a little bit. And the big thing is with Northwestern, their second leading scorer. That's fine. They lost their second leading scorer for the rest of the season, just a couple of games back, and it showed in a home loss on Saturday. But not only is he second leading scorer, he's their leading rebounder. He's their leading assist guy. He's their leading steals guy. So he does it all for them. 6'8", do it all, and he's gone for the year. They're not a real deep crew. So USC +3 at Northwestern. Speaking of UCLA, taking them tonight at home against Michigan State. I'm wondering if this is just a step up in the level of play in the Big Ten. Michigan State's been really good this year, but UCLA's even been better as of late. Taking UCLA, I think they're -2.
Yep, looking at -2.
And then in the Big East tonight, Georgetown travels to Cincinnati to take on Xavier. The Musketeers, man, they're 4-2, but even in the 2 losses, they've been really good. Overtime loss at St. John's, who we're back in tonight, as hot as anybody. And then they lost by 9 to Creighton in Omaha, where Creighton shot over 40% from 3, over 50% from the field and, as a whole, and over 75% from the line. They hit everything. They have had quality performance after quality performance. Sean Miller back at one of his old stops, doing it good. So we like Xavier -7.5 or 8.
1 minute remaining.
Fine there.
Showing 8 right now. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We're at Modesto Mexican Grill on Burbank, just off of Nicholson.
Sounds great, man. Good luck. Thanks. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
Be well. That is Jimmy Ott. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Of course, they can help Louisianians buy land anywhere in the lower 48. So you want that hunting property in Mississippi, you want that camp in Texas, you want that ranch in Montana, or you want 20 acres on the North Shore to build that dream home and then commute into the city. They can help you with that as well. It's First South Farm Credit. Make your first call to First South Farm Credit. firstsouthland.com. firstsouthland.com. All right, that'll do it for us here. Muse, Paulie back in studio. Thanks, Bo, Alondra, Kate, everyone else here on site. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
After Further Review.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.